Chapter 2046. At the outermost area of the Xingyang Dao Mansion, a layer of ripples suddenly appeared in the void. Then, a crack was torn in the void and a figure stepped out of the crack. The person was none other than Murong Yu. After Murong Yu appeared, he looked around. After realizing that there was nothing unusual in the Xingyang Dao Mansion, he waved his hand. Then, figures stepped out of the void one after another. There were about 100 of them. Among them were Shin Tian, who was originally the most powerful ancestor in the Sun sect. There were also Dongfang Lang and other newly advanced Insight Realm experts. Other than the experts from the Dongfang family who had entered the Xingyang Dao Mansion, there were more level 9 and level 8 elders from the Dongfang family and the Sun sect who had entered the Xingyang Dao Mansion. These people were Murong Yu's confidants. They would be the backbone of the Chaos Shenzhen's rise in the endless starry sky. Of course, these people who could enter the Xingyang Dao Mansion had their souls controlled by Murong Yu and became Murong Yu's slave. It was not that Murong Yu wanted to control them or that he did not trust them. It was just that the Xingyang Dao Mansion was too shocking. If one of the people who entered the Xingyang Dao Mansion accidentally leaked the information, Murong Yu would be faced with a disaster. That was why Murong Yu had taken control of their souls. Of course, there was one exception. That person was Little Loli. Murong Yu trusted Little Loli from the bottom of his heart because he knew her well. Because he understood her, the Little Loli would never betray him. Moreover, with Little Loli's background, it would not be easy for others to obtain her memories. The Xingyang Dao Mansion strictly separates each realm, and each realm corresponds to a region. Find the corresponding region yourselves and try your best to raise your strength to the highest level within the limited time. Murong Yu instructed. Then, Shin Tian and the others turned into streaks of light and disappeared from where they stood. Murong, we're leaving too. Zhao Jiqing walked up slowly and looked at Murong Yu affectionately. Then, she turned into a stream of light and disappeared from Murong Yu's sight. Yu Mengqing, Mu Liue, Kurlan, and Situ Xian also left quickly. Only Murong Yu and Little Loli were left on the spot. This time, Murong Yu finally brought Zhao Jiqing and the others into the Xingyang Dao Mansion. Murong Yu didn't hide anything about the holy world from the 5 girls. It was also because of this that the 5 women did not have any romantic feelings for Murong Yu and instead focused on cultivating. Because of the Xingyang Dao of the Xingyang Dao Mansion shrouding the Xingyang Dao Mansion. He did not know who this person was. Their connection to the saint's world was vague, and the He Tu and the inscription of the Luo had no connection to the teleportation points in the saint's world at all. Therefore, time was tight. Murong Yu did not hesitate. He also needed to use the shortest time to raise his strength to the highest level. It would be best if he could break through to the Insight Realm. By then, he would have the strength of a Genesis Realm. Little Loli, what are you thinking about? Let's go. Murong Yu called out to Little Loli, who had been deep in thought since she entered the Xingyang Dao Mansion. The Little Loli took a deep look at Murong Yu and said, "Big scoundrel, you've really picked up a treasure. Do you know the origin of this Xingyang Dao Mansion? What level is this Xingyang Dao Mansion? Is it a Genesis realm or a celestial realm? Maybe it's an existence beyond the celestial realm?" Murong Yu's heart skipped a beat. Little Loli shrugged. "I don't know. However, this Xingyang Dao Mansion is definitely a place that countless cultivators are jealous of. You found a treasure." Murong Yu could not help but feel a little depressed. He could clearly feel that Little Loli knew something, but Little Loli did not seem to be willing to say. However, it did not matter. He would eventually find out what level this Xingyang Dao Mansion was. Therefore, he grabbed Little Loli and rushed into the depths of the Xingyang Dao Mansion. However, the Little Loli stopped when she reached the Blessed Stage area. Her strength had not reached the Insight Realm, so she could not enter the Insight Realm. When they stopped, the Little Loli looked at Murong Yu with an unwilling gaze. "Big baddie, I'll definitely surpass you. I'll definitely go deeper than you," Murong Yu shrugged his shoulders and continued to venture deeper into the cave. So what if little Lowly surpassed him? He wasn't someone who was competitive last time. Murong Yu hadn't been able to enter the Blessed Realm, and had been stopped at the Blessed Realm area. But now, he was going straight ahead. The invisible barrier that originally existed automatically parted when he passed by, allowing Murong Yu to pass through easily. Rumble, Murong Yu had just stepped into the Insight Realm area when waves of extremely rich origin energy of heaven and earth rushed toward him like raging waves. Even if he did not take the initiative to absorb the origin energy of heaven and earth, the origin energy of heaven and earth frantically entered through the pores all over his body. This yuan qi of heaven and earth is enough to allow an ordinary netherworld realm expert to break through to the creation realm without needing any other natural treasures or pills. Murong Yu's face was filled with shock when he sensed the incomparably dense yuan qi of heaven and earth. If the time it took for a profound underworld realm elite to break through to the Genesis realm was 10 years, then cultivating here would only take 1 year or at most 2 years. Moreover, in addition to the rich origin energy of heaven and earth, there would also be various supreme cultivation techniques and the cultivation experiences of seniors. There were also terrifying ferocious beasts for cultivators to cultivate. Under such circumstances, even an Insight Realm cultivator who was originally unable to break through to the creation realm in his lifetime would quickly break through. Just like Dongfang Lang from before, he only cultivated here for a period of time, and then successfully broke through. However, these were only useful to ordinary people. They were of no use to Murong Yu at all. Therefore, Murong Yu did not stay for long. Instead, he started walking and found the palace in the Insight Realm area. All kinds of treasures, pills, origin tools, cultivation techniques, cultivation experiences, and so on were the same as the creation realm area. Treasures, pills, cultivation techniques, and so on were not attractive to Murong Yu. Therefore, he went straight into the treasury where the origin crystals were stored. Supreme-grade origin crystals. They were all supreme-grade origin crystals, piled up like mountains, emitting extremely rich origin energy of heaven and earth. Murong Yu went straight in, then sat cross-legged in the middle of the supreme-grade origin crystals, and then opened his mouth. Pieces of origin crystals rapidly shrank, and like a torrent, they were sucked into Murong Yu's body and transferred into the primal chaos furnace. The primal chaos furnace was already operating, refining a large number of supreme-grade origin crystals that poured in. Murong Yu's power was increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. During this process, the arrest warrant for Murong Yu in the Tiger Claw Galaxy continued. However, Murong Yu seemed to have disappeared into thin air, and no one could find any trace of Murong Yu. It was as if he had never appeared at all. Of course, the Lin family would not let Murong Yu go so easily and continued to hunt him down. It had even spread out of the Tiger Claw Galaxy. Some people from the Lin family entered the solar system again. However, when the people from the Lin family entered the solar system again, it had been 3 years since Murong Yu entered the Xingyang Dao Mansion. 3 years was not a long time, but it was not a short time either. However, Murong Yu and the others who were cultivating in the Xingyang Dao Mansion had undergone earth-shaking changes. Even the Big Eater, Murong Yu had made another breakthrough and reached the peak of the 4th level of the creation realm in one fell swoop. Moreover, his cultivation, soul, and physical body had all broken through at the same time. At this time, his true combat power had reached the terrifying peak of the 6th level of the Insight Realm. The strength of the creatures he created had also reached the 5th level of the Insight Realm. With Murong Yu's current combat power, he could definitely walk around the Tiger Claw Galaxy. In 3 years, even the Big Eater Murong Yu had broken through a small realm, let alone the others. Everyone had at least broken through 1 or 2 small realms. Among the nearly 100 people who entered the Xingyang Dao Mansion this time, except for Murong Yu who was still in the creation realm, Everyone else had broken through to the insight realm. In particular, Zhao Jiqing, the 5 girls, and little Lolita's cultivation had improved tremendously. Little Lolita was slightly better. She had already reached the creation realm before entering the Xingyang Dao mansion. The breakthrough this time was only one major realm. However, Zhao Jiqing and the other girls were only at the peak of the Bright World realm before entering the Xingyang Dao mansion. This time, all of them had broken through to the insight realm. In particular, Zhao Jiqing's terrifying cultivation speed was comparable to Murong Yu's. She had broken through to the 5th level of the insight realm in one go. She had become the person with the highest realm among Murong Yu's group. Shen Tian, who was originally at the 3rd level of the insight realm, was now at the peak of the 4th level of the insight realm. The others were not weak either. If they continued at this speed, it would not take too long for them to break through to the creation realm. However, this was impossible. The higher the realm, the longer it would take to break through. Even if the Xingyang Dao mansion did not lack anything, it was impossible to break through to the creation realm in 3 to 5 years. It seems that even the Xingyang Dao mansion can't help me reach the insight realm. Murong Yu opened his eyes speechlessly. After he had broken through, the effect of the supreme grade origin crystal on him had decreased greatly. He had a feeling that perhaps the supreme grade origin crystal could only help him break through to the 5th or 6th level of the creation realm. However, if he could reach the 6th level of the creation realm, his true combat power could reach the 8th level of the insight realm. This combat power should be able to contend with the Lin family, right? Of course, this combat power was still unable to fight against the terrifying powerhouse who had plundered the holy world. However, one could not become a fatty in one go. One's strength needed time to accumulate and improve slowly. Someone from the Lin family has arrived in the solar system? He was really like a ghost that refused to leave. In that case, you can stay in the solar system forever. Murong Yu's eyes suddenly flashed with a cold light. Then, his figure flashed and disappeared from where he stood. When he reappeared, he was already on the sun. Chapter 2047. Although the Sun sect and the Dongfang family no longer existed and had merged into the Chaos Shenzhen. However, the headquarters of the Chaos Shenzhen was still on the Sun Star. Moreover, the elite disciples of the Dongfang family had all moved to the Sun Star. Therefore, the Sun Star now had more people and was more powerful than before. However, the Sun Star was still vulnerable without a profound underworld powerhouse overseeing it. Therefore, when the Lin family appeared on the Sun Star, they almost directly suppressed the Chaos Shenzhen. The people from the Lin family were Murong Yu's old acquaintances, the 2 brothers, Lin Jiafeng and Lin Jiashu. However, before the 2 of them could make a move, Murong Yu had already returned to the Sun Star from the Xingyang Dao mansion. This was because Murong Yu had already left a power clone on the Sun Star before leaving. Once something like this happened, Murong Yu, who was far away in the Xingyang Dao mansion, could rush back in time. The teleportation formation from the Tiger Claw Galaxy did not directly lead to the Sun Star. As such, the Lin brothers were already aware of the fact that Murong Yu had unified the solar system. However, for some reason they did not report this matter. Instead, they went directly to the Sun Star. They wanted to take down Murong Yu. In this way, their future development in the Lin clan would definitely be smooth sailing and they would be able to achieve meteoric success. However, what they didn't know was that their greedy behavior had completely ruined their lives. Whoosh! After Murong Yu returned from the Xingyang Dao mansion, he directly soared into the sky and appeared in front of the Lin brothers. The 2 of them were quite strong as they had both reached level 2 of the profound underworld. If it was before, no one in the entire solar system would be a match for them except for Shintian. However, in front of Murong Yu, they were nothing. Murong Yu. The moment they saw Murong Yu, Lin Jiafeng could not help but exclaim. Then, the 2 of them became excited. It was really a case of traveling far and wide in search of something, only to find it by chance. Before they could make a move, Morong Yu appeared on his own. Boom! At the same time, when they were excited, Morong Yu only glanced at them indifferently, then he shot out a palm towards Lin Jiafeng and Lin Jiafeng. Lin Jiafeng and Lin Jiafeng's faces were filled with disdain because Morong Yu was only at the 4th level of the manifestation realm. The gap between them and him was simply too great. However, they were soon shocked speechless. Before they could even react, Morong Yu's large hand had already grabbed both of them. At the same time, an extremely powerful force surged into their bodies and sealed their powers. Following that, Lin Jiafeng and Lin Jiashu felt a sharp pain in their souls. Lin Jiafeng and the other two immediately reacted. Morong Yu was reading their memories. They wanted to resist, but they couldn't. In front of Morong Yu, they were just two ants. It didn't take long for Morong Yu to read all of their memories without missing a single detail. Just when Lin Jiafeng and Lin Jiashu thought that it was over, they saw Morong Yu's face reveal a smile that made them tremble in fear. Before they could react, a sharp pain that penetrated deep into their souls exploded in their minds. The next moment, Lin Jiafeng and Lin Jiashu greet the Lord. Morong Yu directly released the seal on their powers, and the two of them immediately greeted Morong Yu. It was obvious that Morong Yu had controlled their souls, and they had become Morong Yu's slaves. Morong Yu nodded slightly. You should know what to do now, right? Yes, we'll say that the solar system hasn't changed at all. It's exactly the same as before. And the Lord has never returned to the solar system. He might have escaped to another star system. Lin Jiafeng said respectfully. Very good. The two of you will oversee the solar system for me. If anyone else from the Lin family comes, just send them away, Morong Yu instructed. Then, with a wave of his hand, he disappeared once again. At the same time, he also removed the seal that he had set up previously. At this time, below the solar system, Shengzhen's disciple saw the two of them. Originally, Morong Yu had wanted to kill Lin Jiafeng and Lin Jiufeng. However, after reading their memories, he changed his mind. He already knew the identities of Lin Zhe and Lin Hongzhe. The Lin family and him were already enemies. If he killed the two of them, the Lin family would immediately know that Morong Yu might have escaped back to the solar system. If that was the case, the Lin family's army would immediately come to the solar system. At that time, the solar system might be directly destroyed. This was something that Morong Yu did not want to see. As for imprisoning the two of them, it would be better to directly control their souls and let them guard the solar system. At the same time, they would be Morong Yu's pawns in the Lin family. It would be beneficial to Morong Yu without any harm. After dealing with the two of them, Morong Yu continued to return to the Xingyang Dao mansion. In the following period of time, the matter of the Lin family wanting Morong Yu became more and more intense. However, because of the relationship between the two of them, the Lin family did not send anyone to the solar system again. This allowed the solar system to have a rare moment of peace. Time passed slowly, and in the blink of an eye, 100 years had passed. 100 years might be a lifetime for mortals. However, for the cultivators in the endless starry sky who had no lifespan limit, it was just a matter of the blink of an eye. In 100 years, there were basically no changes in the endless starry sky. However, the people in the Xingyang Dao mansion had undergone earth-shattering changes. The first Genesis realm expert of the primal chaos Shengzhen had appeared. It was none other than Morong Yu's first lady, Zhao Jiqing. Zhao Jiqing's aptitude was quite terrifying, and she was only slightly inferior to Morong Yu. Therefore, she became the first Genesis realm expert of the Shengzhen. In terms of realm, she left Morong Yu in the dust. Not only that, but Yu Mengqing, Mu Liue, Kurlan, Situ Xian, and even little Lolita left Morong Yu in the dust. This was because, without exception, they had all reached the peak of the level 9 insight realm. They were only one step away from breaking through to the Genesis realm. Perhaps their aptitudes were slightly inferior to Zhao Jiqing's, even if they had a large number of resources to digest. However, they were still lacking a little bit of comprehension and were unable to take the final step. However, this strength was enough to compete with the Lin family of the Tiger Claw Galaxy. The aptitudes of Zhao Jiqing, the 5 girls, and little Lolita were very heaven-defying. However, the difference between Xin Tian and Dongfang Lang and the others was too great. Although in the Xingyang Dao Mansion, Xin Tian and Dongfang Lang had only broken through to the level 6 Insight Realm, their aptitudes were SOSO. Dongfang Yuan and the others were even worse. The highest among them was only at the level 5 Insight Realm, and most of them were at the level 3 or level 4 Insight Realm. However, to have such cultivation in 100 years still made Xin Tian and the others extremely excited. As their strength continued to increase, they became more and more loyal to Murongyu. Not because of anything else, but because of this increase in strength, they would not betray him, who could help them increase their strength quickly. They all knew that this was just the beginning. As long as they followed Murongyu, their achievements in the future would definitely not be limited to the Insight Realm. It was possible for them to reach the Genesis Realm or even the Heaven Realm. Ha ha ha, Big Baddie, I'm not wrong, right? I've already surpassed you by 1 major realm and 2 minor realms. Hurry up and kneel down. Little Lolita stood in front of Murongyu with her giant axe and laughed arrogantly. Murongyu rolled his eyes. His appetite was getting bigger and bigger. Originally, he thought that the Insight Realm area in the Xingyang Dao Mansion would only allow him to reach the level 6 Creation Realm. However, after 100 years of hard work, he finally managed to break through to the level 7 Creation Realm. However, although he was only at the level 7 Creation Realm, his real combat power was comparable to the level 9 Insight Realm. Even little Lolita was not his opponent. However, in the face of everyone's soaring realms, Murongyu was once again at the bottom of the list. The lowest realm, the level 3 Insight Realm, was many minor realms higher than him. This made Murongyu a little depressed. However, Murongyu was a monster. His combat power was not equivalent to his realm. If they looked down on Murongyu because he was only at the Creation Realm, they would definitely end up in a tragedy. It's time to leave. Murongyu did not pay attention to the arrogant little Lolita and pondered in his heart. In the Xingyang Dao Mansion, he could not continue to improve his strength, unless he could enter the region of the Genesis tier, but that was impossible. However, if he left, what would happen to the others? Murongyu intended to let everyone stay here to cultivate, especially Zhao Jiqing. As long as Zhao Jiqing was given a certain amount of time, she might become the 11th Celestial Realm expert in the Milky Way star zone. However, Murongyu was worried that if something happened to him and he died, they could only stay in the Xingyang Dao Mansion forever and would not be able to leave. Moreover, the Chaos Shenzhen needed someone to guard it. It would be easier if I could build a teleportation array between Shenzhen and the Xingyang Dao Mansion, Murongyu thought in his heart. However, he had tried before, and it was simply impossible. That was because the Xingyang Dao Mansion was constantly moving rapidly in the turbulent space. Apart from Hichu Luoshu, it was impossible to build a teleportation array. It's not very good for the Foundation to blindly improve one's realm. Then let's leave the Xingyang Dao Mansion first. Murongyu finally decided and led everyone out of the Xingyang Dao Mansion. Something happened to Master? As soon as he appeared on the Sun Star, Murongyu received a message, and his expression changed drastically. It was an urgent message for help sent by Elder Duan Hun. Elder Duan Hun had helped Murongyu a lot. Since he was in danger, Murongyu naturally could not sit back and do nothing. Moreover, he was worried that he did not know when this message was sent. After all, he did not know if the Xingyang Dao Mansion would block this message. Chapter 2048. Based on Murongyu's understanding of Elder Duan Hun, Elder Duan Hun would never ask for help unless it was a matter of life and death. In other words, when Elder Duan Hun decided to ask for help, he was already in a life and death crisis. If the transmission of the message was blocked by the Rising Sun Dao Mansion, Elder Duan Hun would have been killed at this time. Moreover, Morong Yu did not have Elder Duan Hun's soul jade slip. It was not that he did not want it, but Elder Duan Hun did not give it to him at all. According to Elder Duan Hun, he did not want Morong Yu to worry about him, and he did not want to affect Morong Yu. This was truly an emergency. Morong Yu was praying now. He received the message for help sent by Elder Duan Hun immediately, and he did not receive it after being blocked by the Rising Sun Dao Mansion for a while. Because Elder Duan Hun was in danger, there was no time to delay. Therefore, Morong Yu hurriedly arranged Shengzhen's affairs, then took little Loli and directly teleported away. Other than little Loli, he did not bring anyone else. Even the femme fatale and the big black dog were the same. The reason why he brought little Loli was that little Loli had been sticking to him, and Morong Yu could not get rid of her at all. Fortunately, Master has a teleportation point for me, Morong Yu thought in his heart. Hichu Luoshu had directly teleported to Elder Duan Hun's side. Strictly speaking, it was not beside Elder Duan Hun, but near the teleportation point that he gave Elder Duan Hun. This made Morong Yu feel a little lucky. Otherwise, if he teleported slowly, it would be too late. Morong Yu appeared in an incomparably bustling city. People were coming and going, making the place very lively. Morong Yu appeared in a remote alley in this city, and Elder Duan Hun was not nearby. Morong Yu's face was a little gloomy as he found the teleportation point that he gave Elder Duan Hun in a corner of the alley. The teleportation point had already been shattered into pieces. Fortunately, the teleportation array in the teleportation point was not damaged, otherwise, Morong Yu would not have been able to teleport over. However, even though he had teleported over, the situation seemed to be very serious. Even the teleportation point had been destroyed. What had Elder Broken Soul encountered? Morong Yu's eyes flashed with traces of cold light, and the time laws immediately revolved. Tracing back to the origin, the scene in the alleyway was moving backwards rapidly. Finally, not long after, Morong Yu saw Elder Duan Hun in this alley. At that time, Elder Duan Hun was bathed in blood and was in the middle of a great battle with over a dozen powerhouses. However, the disparity in strength between the two sides was too great. No matter how Elder Duan Hun tried to break out of the encirclement, he was still heavily injured in the end and was captured by the other side. Seeing this, Morong Yu breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. After all, Elder Duan Hun had not been killed yet. As long as Elder Duan Hun didn't die, no matter how serious his injuries were, it wouldn't be a problem. But what Morong Yu wasn't sure was when Elder Duan Hun was captured. Would something happen after he was captured? And who was his enemy? He took a step forward, and when he appeared again, he was already on the turbulent street outside. After half a day, he finally found out about Elder Duan Hun. It was a bit melodramatic, but it really happened. Morong Yu was now in a place called the 100 Apertures Galaxy, and Elder Duan Hun was originally a rogue cultivator in the 100 Apertures Galaxy. Many years ago, he fell in love with the daughter of a 7th-grade family leader in the 100 Apertures Galaxy. This was supposed to be a story of a loser turning the tables on a fair, rich, and beautiful girl. However, because Elder Duan Hun was a rogue cultivator and his strength was very low, the 7th-grade family wouldn't agree at all. Therefore, they broke up the couple and almost killed Elder Duan Hun. With the help of his lover, Elder Duan Hun managed to escape in time. He escaped to the solar system and concealed his identity. However, Elder Duan Hun still didn't forget their old relationship. After breaking through to the nether state, he returned to the 100 Apertures Galaxy again. However, his strength was still not enough. Not long after he returned, he had a conflict with the 7th grade family. In the end, he was taken down by the powerhouses of the 7th grade family. Moreover, Morong-yu also found out that his fiancée really liked Elder Duan-hun. Everything was because of that 7th grade family. How many melodramatic things happen in this world every day? Morong-yu shook his head helplessly. However, even if it was 10 times more melodramatic, he still had to take care of this matter. 7th grade family? In the 100 Apertures galaxy, a 7th grade family was actually a family with a 7th grade nether state powerhouse overseeing it. Among them, a 1st grade family in force was the lowest, and a 9th grade family was the highest. And a family in force without a nether state powerhouse overseeing it were all mediocre forces. With Morong-yu's current strength, he naturally didn't fear a mere 7th grade family. Therefore, he unfolded his body and walked toward the Huang family. The city Morong-yu was in was the Huang family's headquarters. The Huang family was in the center of the city. Invisibility. Morong-yu hid his body and swaggered into the Huang family's gate. The people of the Huang family didn't notice anything. Not to mention the disciples of the Huang family who were guarding the gate. Even the strongest old ancestor of the Huang family couldn't notice Morong-yu. Morong-yu didn't extend his divine thought to search for Elder Duan-hun. Instead, he grabbed a disciple of the Huang family and read his soul directly. Bastard! Morong-yu furiously roared in his heart. He was truly enraged right now. This was because ever since Elder Duan-hun was captured by the Huang family, he had been tortured and abused by the Huang family every day. At this moment, Elder Duan-hun had been tortured until he was half dead. Moreover, the Huang family would officially execute Elder Duan-hun 3 days later. This made Morong-yu's killing intent surge. If he came a few days later, he might only be able to collect Elder Duan-hun's corpse. Let's go and see Master's wife first. Morong-yu originally planned to go directly to the Huang family's prison to rescue Elder Duan-hun directly. But halfway through, he suddenly changed his mind. If the Master's wife was really in love with Master and was willing to be with Elder Duan-hun, Morong-yu would definitely fulfill their wish. But if that wasn't the case, Morong-yu would have wiped out the Huang family with a single slap. According to the memory of the Huang family disciple, Morong-yu came to the courtyard where Huang Yaqian was. However, he didn't find Huang Yaqian. Moreover, Huang Yaqian's courtyard seemed to have been empty for many days. Morong-yu was puzzled. He searched the entire Huang family, but he still couldn't find any trace of Huang Yaqian. Even if he read the memories of a few nether state experts, he still couldn't find any trace of Huang Yaqian. However, the memories of those people made Morong-yu more satisfied with Huang Yaqian, who was his master's wife. Those people's memories were filled with disgust and confusion towards Huang Yaqian, because they couldn't understand why Huang Yaqian would like that Duan-hun who had nothing. It was simply a mismatch between their families. Since he didn't find Huang Yaqian, Morong-yu directly entered the Huang family's prison and came to Elder Duan-hun's cell. At this time, Elder Duan-hun's body was in a bad condition, and his strength had long been sealed. He was tortured to the point of dying. If this continued, even if the Huang family didn't execute Elder Duan-hun, he wouldn't have many days left to live. Even if Morong-yu showed his figure, Elder Duan-hun still didn't notice anything and was still unconscious. Morong-yu was naturally enraged. He hurriedly sent a torrent of life force into Elder Duan-hun's body. At the same time, he also unsealed Elder Duan-hun's strength. Boom! At this moment, Elder Duan-hun suddenly opened his eyes and threw a punch at Morong-yu at the same time. Morong-yu grabbed Elder Duan-hun's fist and said in a deep voice, "Master, it's me." Hearing that, Elder Duan-hun glanced at Morong-yu with his dim eyes, then rolled his eyes and fainted again. What kind of torture was it that made a dark insight expert so weak? The anger in Morong-yu's heart burned, and an even greater amount of life force surged into Elder Duan-hun's body like a stormy wave. In a short while, Elder Duan Hun's physical body recovered to its peak and was even stronger than before. However, Elder Duan Hun still didn't wake up. Physical injuries were easy to recover, but mental injuries couldn't be healed by Murong Yu. Therefore, Elder Duan Hun slowly woke up after half a day. Murong Yu, I'm really sorry to trouble you. Elder Duan Hun looked at Murong Yu apologetically. Murong Yu shook his head. You're my master, and this is what I should do as your disciple. However, since you've recovered, shouldn't we ask the Huang family for an explanation? A terrifying cold light flashed across Elder Duan Hun's eyes, but after looking at Murong Yu, he shook his head again. The Huang family is a 7th-rank family after all, and we're no match for them at all. Master, as long as you say it, are you willing to take back your fiancée? As long as you say it, even if it's a 9th-rank family, I'll turn it upside down, let alone a 7th-rank family. Elder Duan Hun's eyes lit up. You really have such strength? Murong Yu nodded affirmatively. Ha ha ha. Elder Duan Hun immediately laughed. In that case, let's turn it upside down. Damn it, didn't the Huang family look down on me? Today I'll show them our strength. Although I'm not strong enough, I have an abnormal disciple. Duan Hun, what are you arguing about? Are you courting death? Elder Duan Hun's laughter attracted the disciples of the Huang family who were guarding the prison. Accompanied by angry curses, a middle-aged man strode over with a murderous aura. Bastard, you're just in the creation realm. If my power wasn't sealed, would you dare to touch me? Seeing the person, Elder Duan Hun was furious. He kicked open the door of the cell and rushed out, pouncing on the middle-aged man. Chapter 2049. Bang! The middle-aged man didn't even have time to react before he was kicked in the abdomen by Elder Duan Hun. He was only a creation realm cultivator, while Elder Duan Hun was a true netherworld insight realm expert. Moreover, Elder Duan Hun attacked in anger. Therefore, this middle-aged man was in a tragedy. He was kicked by Elder Duan Hun and turned into a bloody mist. He couldn't be more dead. Good disciple, let's go and cause trouble in the Huang family. Elder Duan Hun laughed and rushed out first. At this moment, some alarmed Huang family disciples also rushed over. However, there was no insight realm existence among the Huang family disciples guarding the heavenly prison. Therefore, one of these people died when they rushed over, and 2 of them died when they rushed over. Elder Duan Hun was really angry and didn't show any mercy. In an instant, the Huang family's heavenly prison was filled with blood. However, when Elder Duan Hun and Murong Yu rushed to the entrance of the heavenly prison, the Huang family's insight realm experts finally arrived. They sealed the entrance of the heavenly prison one by one. Although Elder Duan Hun was powerful, he was not Murong Yu after all. With his strength at the first level of the insight realm, he might be able to barely contend with 1 or 2 second-level existences. However, if there were more opponents or if their cultivation level was higher, he would be no match for them at all. Therefore, when he found that there were a lot of insight realm experts here, he didn't rush in. Instead, he stopped and looked at Murong Yu, who was walking slowly behind him. Murong Yu nodded slightly. Master, you go ahead. I'll take care of everything. After receiving Murong Yu's guarantee, Duan Hun let out a hearty laugh. Then, he unfolded his body and charged forward. Courting death. A second-level insight realm cultivator stepped out and punched at Elder Duan Hun. Elder Duan Hun roared, not afraid of the Huang family cultivator who was at a higher cultivation level than him at all. He also punched out fiercely. Seeing this scene, the Huang family cultivators all had disdainful looks on their faces. Could it be that the long-term torture had caused Elder Duan Hun to lose his mind? Or was he stupid? The second-stage cultivator from the Huang clan also had the same thought in his heart. In the blink of an eye, the 2 fists were about to collide. Right at this moment, the expression of the Huang family's second-stage insight realm expert changed drastically. Just now, he discovered that his power had been sealed. This was a battle. If his strength was sealed, then there was only one outcome for him: death. Therefore, the cultivator from the Huang family was extremely shocked and wanted to retreat immediately. However, how could he evade Soul Severing's attack without any power? Boom! After a muffled explosion, the Stage 2 Insight Stage cultivator from the Huang clan didn't even have time to scream before his entire body and soul was blown to smithereens by Elder Duan Hun. He couldn't be more dead. Seeing this, the Huang family and even Elder Duan Hun were stunned. This fellow had died too quickly, too cowardly. However, Duan Hun reacted quickly. This should be Murong Yu's credit. Although Duan Hun did not know how Murong Yu did it, he knew that Murong Yu must have sealed the other party's power. Kill. After regaining his senses, Duan Hun roared and rushed forward. He attacked with both fists, directly enveloping all the experts of the Huang family. Among them, there was a powerful existence who had reached the 3rd level of the Insight Stage. Everyone from the Huang family was furious, but in the next moment, their expressions changed. Because just now, their power was sealed by an inexplicable force. They had become ordinary people. Bang! 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 Without power, how could they be a match for Elder Duan Hun? In the blink of an eye, they all became souls under Elder Duan Hun's hands. Awesome! Elder Duan Hun laughed heartily as he jumped out of the prison. Although it wasn't his power that killed these experts, it was his disciples' power. He still felt good. Duan Hun, you're courting death. Just as Murong Yu and Elder Duan Hun rushed out of the prison, an angry roar came from afar. At the same time, black shadows constantly shot over from afar. In the blink of an eye, they surrounded Murong Yu and Elder Duan Hun. Each and every one of them was an Insight Stage expert. After all, the Huang family was a 7th-rank family, and there were still many Insight Stage cultivators. Moreover, the news of Duan Hun displaying invincible might and slaughtering Nether Enlightenment Realm cultivators like slaughtering chickens and dogs had probably already spread. Therefore, there was no lack of 4th and 5th level Insight Stage cultivators surrounding them. Murong Yu even saw a 6th level Insight Stage cultivator hiding behind the crowd, waiting for an opportunity to attack. Duan Hun, who gave you the guts to kill my people? A 5th level Insight Stage cultivator stepped out of the crowd and looked at Elder Duan Hun with a face full of killing intent. If it was before Murong Yu came, Elder Duan Hun would have run as far as he could when he saw this battle. However, Murong Yu gave him great confidence. These people who were usually powerful were now demons and monsters in front of him. They were not enough to be killed by him with a single punch. Let Qian out and let us leave. Then, we'll write off the past. Otherwise, the Huang family will be massacred today. Elder Duan Hun also took a step forward and looked at the other party with murderous intent. Hearing Elder Duan Hun's words, the Huang family people immediately looked at him with disdain. You dare to be a toad who wants to eat swan meat. Why don't you go back and look in the mirror? The 5th level Insight Stage cultivator sneered. Elder Duan Hun narrowed his eyes slightly. What bullsh** T identity? It was nothing to him. Moreover, Huang Yaqian didn't mind, so why would they mind? Since you are stubborn, then don't blame me for massacring the Huang family. Elder Duan Hun sneered and took a step forward. His entire body had turned into a stream of light and pounced towards the 5th level Insight Stage cultivator. The disdain on the Huang family's faces became even stronger. Elder Duan Hun was only at the 1st level of the Insight Stage. He was simply courting death. However, their expressions soon changed. Because they clearly saw that the 5th level Insight Stage cultivator was blown up by Elder Duan Hun with a single punch. They didn't even have time to react. It was really terrifying. Why did Elder Duan Hun have such terrifying strength? If his previous strength was so terrifying, the Huang family wouldn't be able to take him down. The only variable now was Murong Yu, who had been silently following behind Elder Duan Hun. However, Murong Yu was only at the 7th level of the creation stage. It was simply not enough. Could it be that there was a super expert behind Elder Duan Hun who was secretly helping him? Kill. Many insight stage cultivators of the Huang family reacted. One by one, they blasted out their strongest attacks towards Elder Duan Hun. Sensing the terrifying aura of destruction, Elder Duan Hun's face changed continuously. His strength was actually fake. Therefore, how could his expression not change? Murong Yu took a step forward and appeared beside Elder Duan Hun. Since he appeared, the power that bombarded him automatically slipped past him. It didn't hit Murong Yu or Elder Duan Hun at all. Master's wife is not in the Huang family. I have already checked once before. I think in the entire Huang family, only their ancestor knows where Master's wife is. It's useless to be entangled with these trash. Let's go directly to their ancestor. All right. Elder Duan Hun's face revealed a touch of worry. Then, Murong Yu took him to the sky. They directly swept past the encirclement of the crowd and rushed into the deepest part of the Huang family. The last part of the Huang family was a small courtyard with pleasant scenery and quiet scenery. Come out. Murong Yu stood in front of the courtyard and said indifferently. However, there was no response from the courtyard. At this moment, the experts of the Huang family had also rushed over. Kill the two of them. Someone in the crowd roared. Then, the insight stage cultivators attacked aggressively and blasted towards Murong Yu violently. Noisy. Murong Yu's face revealed a touch of impatience. He looked back at them and shouted in a low voice. Plop, plop, regardless of whether these people were standing in the void or on the ground. After being glanced at by Murong Yu, all of them crawled on the ground without exception. It was not that they were willing to submit, but there was an extremely terrifying aura suppressing them. They had no choice but to crawl. If they did not crawl, they would be crushed by the terrifying aura. With just a glance, everyone was suppressed. What kind of strength is this? Isn't it too terrifying? Everyone, including Duan Hun, was stunned. Each and every one of them looked at Murong Yu in shock. Especially Duan Hun, who was inexplicably shocked. After all, when they left the solar system, how could Murong Yu be so powerful? Now, in just over 100 years, Murong Yu had grown to such a terrifying level? Still not coming out? Murong Yu said in a low voice. A touch of impatience flashed in the depths of his eyes. Then, he slowly stretched out his big hand and grabbed the small courtyard in front of him. Boom! The small courtyard directly exploded, and then a figure turned into a stream of light and blasted away into the distance. However, Murong Yu's big hand produced a huge suction force. The figure originally wanted to escape into the distance, but in the end, it quickly collided with Murong Yu's big hand and was finally grabbed by Murong Yu's neck. Ancestor! At this time, everyone finally saw the figure clearly. Immediately, everyone in the Huang family exclaimed. After the exclamation, everyone in the Huang family's eyes flashed with intense despair. Even their ancestor was easily suppressed by Murong Yu. How could the Huang family fight against Murong Yu? Was the Huang family going to be destroyed just like that? If they knew that there was such a super expert behind Duan Hun, wouldn't it be better to marry Huang Yaqian to him? The Huang family would not be like this. In an instant, many people in the Huang family had this thought in their hearts, and they all regretted it. Old man, where is my master's wife? Let me tell you, if my master's wife is injured, your Huang family will be completely destroyed today. Everyone, old and young, will die. Do you understand? Looking at the ancestor of the Huang family, Murong Yu said lightly. However, the coldness in his voice made everyone in the Huang family feel as if they had fallen into an ice cave. Chapter 2050. He's at least a level 9 Insight Realm existence. Old Ancestor Huang looked at Murong Yu in horror, his heart filled with regret. At the same time, he was filled with regret and fear. Facing a level 9 netherworld insight expert like Murong Yu, their Huang family could easily disappear from the 100 Apertures galaxy without a trace if they weren't careful. He didn't expect Duan Hun to have such a terrifying backer. This bastard, if he had said that he had such a backer, I wouldn't have to send Huang Yaqian to. Damn it, this bastard has done me a lot of harm. Old Ancestor Huang kept cursing Elder Duan Hun in his heart, feeling extremely regretful. Seeing that Old Ancestor Huang was silent for a long time, Murong Yu's face suddenly turned gloomy. A trace of fierce killing intent spread out. Old Ancestor Huang's heart trembled, and he quickly reacted. Senior, Huang Yaqian is no longer in the Huang family. While speaking, Old Ancestor Huang's face showed a touch of bitterness. Duan Hun suddenly became anxious, and he grabbed Old Ancestor Huang's neck, almost lifting him up like a chicken. Where did Qian'er go? Is she hurt? Old Ancestor Huang's eyes flashed with a fierce light. Duan Hun was only a level 1 Insight Realm expert. How dare he lift him up by the neck? If it was before, he would have killed Duan Hun. But now, he didn't dare to. The Huang family's ancestor fearfully glanced at Murong Yu before hesitantly saying, "She's already gone to the 9th rank by family. The young master of the Bai family has taken a liking to her and will officially marry her in a few days. She shouldn't have suffered any harm." Bai family? Duan Hun's heart trembled. The Bai family was a level 9 family. How could they have crossed paths with Huang Yaqian? Duan Hun knew that Huang Yaqian almost never stepped out of the house. How could the young master of the Bai family like her? "Are you the one who did this?" Duan Hun stared at Old Ancestor Huang and roared. Old Ancestor Huang wanted to say no, but under Murong Yu's terrifying gaze, he didn't dare to say no. Because he decided to send Huang Yaqian over. Huang Yaqian was a genius of the Huang family, and she was also the most beautiful girl in the Huang family. A while ago, the young master of the Bai family had come here. At that time, the old ancestor of the Huang family was trying his best to curry favor with the 9th grade Bai family. In the end, Huang Yaqian was sent out. The young master of the Bai clan was also not a good person. When he saw a beauty like Huang Yaqian, he lost half of his soul. It was because of this that the Huang clan successfully hooked up with the Bai clan. The price was to send Huang Yaqian away. "Old bastard! I'll kill you!" Duan Hun was furious. A slap landed on Old Ancestor Huang's face. The old ancestor of the Huang family let out a blood-curdling scream as he was sent flying. Seeing this scene, the people from the Huang clan couldn't help but feel pain in their faces. This slap was like a slap to their faces. A cold, killing intent flashed across Murong Yu's eyes. However, he had seen this kind of thing many times before. The fate of the disciples of many forces and clans was like this. They would be thrown out like chess pieces by their own forces and clans to achieve the master's goal. However, when this happened to him, Murong Yu couldn't tolerate it. Therefore, he stretched out his hand and directly grabbed the old ancestor of the Huang family. Immediately after, the immense divine consciousness pierced into the soul of the old ancestor of the Huang family. Read his memory. "Master, we can still make it if we rush over now. What should we do with these people?" After reading the Huang family's ancestors' memories, Murong Yu had the urge to slap him to death. The number of filthy things that this old man had done wasn't an ordinary number. "Forget it, let's go and save Qian'er first. They better pray that Qian'er doesn't get hurt. Otherwise, I'll wash the Huang family with blood." Duan Hun glanced at the old ancestor of the Huang family and said with a murderous look, "You better stay here obediently. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences." Murong Yu looked at the old ancestor of the Huang family and the others indifferently. Then, he grabbed Duan Hun and turned into a stream of light, disappearing in front of the Huang family. It wasn't until Murong Yu left that the terrifying aura suppressing the Huang family finally dissipated. Only then was everyone able to stand up. However, there was no excitement on their faces. On the contrary, they were more serious than before. Old ancestor, what should we do? Do we really have to stay here? An expert of the Huang family walked to the old ancestor of the Huang family and asked worriedly. The old ancestor of the Huang family looked gloomy. He was sure that Morong Yu was a level 9 insight realm existence. In the face of such an existence, how could the Huang family, which was only a level 7 family, resist? Run away? If a 9th level Nether Enlightenment realm expert wanted to pursue them, then where could they flee to? But if he were to stay here, he would not be willing to do so. Old ancestor, aren't they going to the Bai family? The Bai family has more than one level 9 insight realm existence. Although that bastard is strong, he's not a match for the Bai family. If we tell the Bai family in advance that he's going, a level 5 insight realm cultivator came over and suggested to the old ancestor of the Huang family with a sneer. Hearing this, everyone's eyes lit up. Let them kill each other. In fact, they might kill each other. Morong Yu was just going to die. The old ancestor of the Huang family's eyes flashed and sent a message out. On the other side, the Bai family is a level 9 family. Morong Yu, are you confident? And I believe the Bai family has already been notified. On the way, Duan Hun said worriedly. Although he was worried about Huang Yaqian, he didn't want to lose Morong Yu. If he was alone, even if he died, it wouldn't be a big deal. However, Morong Yu's future was limitless. If he died like this, he would regret it forever. Master, don't worry. Not to mention one Bai family, even if there were 10 Bai families, I wouldn't care. Morong Yu said with a sneer. From the old ancestor of the Huang family's memory, he had a rough understanding of the Bai family's strength. Although the Bai family was a level 9 family, there were only 3 level 9 insight realm existences in the entire family. Their strength wasn't the best in the 100 Apertures galaxy. With Morong Yu's strength, he could definitely fight against the Bai family. If he angered Morong Yu, he could create hundreds of millions of level 8 insight realm existences. At that time, even 10 Bai families would be destroyed by him. Did the Bai family already receive the news? Morong Yu had already expected this, but he wasn't afraid at all. Morong Yu, I appreciate your kindness. However, if you encounter some people you can't defeat, you can leave directly. There's no need to be harmed because of me. Duan Hun pondered for a while before speaking in a deep voice. Morong Yu just smiled. Unless he encountered a Genesis realm powerhouse, he was invincible under the Insight realm. Moreover, even if he encountered a Genesis realm powerhouse, it wasn't impossible for him to escape. Moreover, if the Bai family was really that strong, he wouldn't be so stupid to fight head-on. The purpose of this trip was only to save people, not to destroy the Bai family. Although he hadn't spent much time with Morong Yu, Duan Hun already had a basic understanding of Morong Yu's character. Therefore, he didn't continue to persuade him. The 100 Apertures galaxy was much stronger than the solar system. The teleportation formations that went to and fro everywhere were like a spider's web densely packed. In less than an hour, Morong Yu had already appeared on the origin planet where the Bai family was located. With a sweep of his divine telekinesis, Morong Yu saw where the Bai family was. Therefore, he brought Duan Hun and flew straight to the Bai family. Whoosh, whoosh. However, before they reached the Bai family, a group of 3 people appeared in front of Morong Yu and blocked the 2 of them. It's a joyous occasion for the Bai family. No one without an invitation is allowed to come near. Leave immediately, one of the 3 people said coldly to Morong Yu and the other 2. Morong Yu couldn't help but sneer. These 3 people didn't even ask, so how did they know that he wasn't a guest? They chased him away directly. They obviously knew that Morong Yu and Duan Hun were here to cause trouble. However, Morong Yu didn't want to let them have their way. A good dog doesn't block the way. Get out of my way. Morong Yu sneered. You're asking for death. The 3 of them roared and immediately attacked. A terrifying power that could destroy the heavens and earth erupted as they grabbed at Murong-Yu. The three of them were level 8 Insight Realm existences. Even in the Bai family, they were considered elder ancestors. They sent out 3 people at once. It was obvious that they valued Murong-Yu. However, they still underestimated Murong-Yu. At this moment, the Bai family was decorated with lanterns and colored banners. It was very lively. In the hall, the atmosphere was joyous. A pair of newlyweds were about to go through the wedding ceremony. The bride's face was covered by a red veil, but none of the guests present could feel joy from her. On the contrary, a wave of sadness came from the bride. However, the crowd didn't care. They didn't care about the bride's feelings. They came here to curry favor with the Bai family and to make friends with the other families who came to drink the wedding wine. Drinking the wedding wine wasn't their purpose. Their real purpose was to make friends with the other families. The groom was naturally aware of these things. Moreover, he couldn't wait any longer. Why would he care about other people's business? When he thought that the incomparably beautiful woman was about to become one of his wives, when he thought about how they could consummate their marriage and ravage the beautiful woman to his heart's content, Bai Tai's heart couldn't help but burn. Therefore, he hurriedly urged them to go through the wedding ceremony. There was no other way. If they didn't go through the ceremony, Huang Yaqian wouldn't consummate their marriage. Of course, with Bai Tai's mood, he would definitely force himself on her. However, Huang Yaqian had a treasure. He couldn't force himself on her. Otherwise, why would they make it so complicated and go through the wedding ceremony? However, just as they were about to go through the ceremony, boom! The roof of the hall that they were in was suddenly blasted apart. At the same time, a figure fell from the sky and landed beside Bai Tai. Chapter 2051. Everyone in the hall was taken aback by this sudden development. Especially Bai Tai, who was almost scared to death. "Bastard, what the hell are you doing?" Bai Tai shouted. He was about to kick the figure. However, his face turned pale as soon as he kicked, because he noticed that the person that fell by his side was none other than a level 8 Netherworld Realm expert of the Bai clan. He was second only to the 3 ancestors of the Bai family. At that moment, he was lying on the ground like a dead dog. No one knew if he was dead or alive. What's going on? Bai Tai was terrified. Besides experts at the 9th level of the Nether Enlightenment Realm, could anyone else easily defeat an existence at such a level? Bang! Bang! Just as Bai Tai and the others were shocked, another 2 figures descended from the sky. Another 2 powerful existences at the 8th level of the Insight Realm. However, the 2 of them were the same as the previous one. They lay on the ground like dead dogs, not moving at all. Bai Tai was so scared that his face turned pale. At this moment, 2 figures descended from the sky and slowly landed. They were none other than Murong-Yu and Duan Hun. Earlier, the 3 8th-level Netherworld Realm experts had blocked Murong-Yu's path with the intention of killing them. However, they were no match for Murong-Yu. They were knocked out by Murong-Yu with a punch each. In the end, they were thrown down. They were invincible under the Insight Realm. Swoosh! After Murong-Yu appeared, the first thing he did was to reach out and grab Bai Tai. "How dare you!" However, as soon as he stretched out his hand, a furious roar was heard. Then, 3 figures appeared out of thin air in the hall. Ancestor! When they saw the 3 old men, the people of the Bai family exclaimed in surprise. The 3 of them were the 3 ancestors of the Bai family, the 3 supreme rank 9 Insight Realm experts. It was because of their existence that the Bai family could become a rank 9 family. Ever since Duan Hun appeared, his eyes were fixed on the bride with a red veil covering her face. Even though he couldn't see the other party's appearance, Duan Hun still recognized the woman as his beloved at first glance. Hearing Duan Hun's call, the bride's body trembled. Then, he tore off her red veil. Then, he looked at Duan Hun with a trembling voice and called out, "Brother Hun." At the same time, Huang Yaqian wanted to pounce on Duan Hun. However, one of the Bai clan's patriarchs scoffed coldly. A powerful force spread out from his body and was about to envelop Huang Yaqian. No matter how much of a bastard Bai Tai was, he was still a member of the Bai family. He would not allow anyone to take anything from the Bai family. Morong Yu sneered and flicked his finger. Poof! The power released by the ancestor disappeared into nothingness. Huang Yaqian naturally pounced on Duan Hun without any resistance. However, how could Elder Ancestor Bai allow this to happen? Thus, he attacked again. Even the other two patriarchs attacked Morong Yu at the same time. What a shameless old man! Morong Yu sneered and attacked fearlessly. Boom! 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 After 3 muffled sounds, the 4 of them trembled slightly. However, the power of the 3 Bai clan's patriarchs was also shattered by Morong Yu. They were just 3 ordinary level 9 Insight Realm cultivators. After exchanging blows, Morong Yu could see the cultivation level of the 3 patriarchs. They were only at the beginning stage of level 9 Insight Realm. However, Morong Yu had already reached the peak of level 9 Insight Realm. He was more powerful than the 3 patriarchs combined. If he used his soul attack, the 3 Bai clan's patriarchs would not be a match for him. I'll take her away and we'll let this matter rest. Morong Yu glanced at the 3 patriarchs calmly. Impossible. Patriarchs, this person barged into our Bai clan and injured several of our patriarchs. He's really arrogant. We can't let him leave. Otherwise, how can our Bai clan keep our dignity if this matter spreads? Bai Tai almost jumped up. Morong Yu and Duan Hun could leave, but Huang Yaqian could not. That was his goal. The Bai clan's dignity and reputation had nothing to do with him, and he did not care. The 3 patriarchs looked at each other and fell silent. Morong Yu came to their house to snatch the bride, and took Huang Yaqian away in front of their eyes. If this matter spread, they would be too ashamed to continue roaming the Jianghu. However, they also knew how powerful Morong Yu was. If a battle broke out, Morong Yu might be killed by them. However, one of the 3 patriarchs would definitely die. The price was too high. Boss, this person's talent is terrifying. He's stronger than us when he's only in the Blessed Realm. Moreover, our Bai clan has a grudge with him. He might even hold a grudge against us. Therefore, we can't let him leave. The 3 patriarchs of the Bai clan were actually 3 brothers. At this moment, the 3rd patriarch of the Bai clan transmitted his voice to the Bai clan's patriarch. The Bai clan's patriarch's face was gloomy as if he was still weighing the pros and cons. Boss, don't we have that trump card? That's a terrifying existence that can even refine a Genesis realm powerhouse. I don't believe that we can't refine this evil creature. Moreover, this evil creature's talent is heaven-defying. If we can study it thoroughly, we might be able to be as heaven-defying, the 2nd patriarch of the Bai clan said in a low voice. The Bai clan's eldest patriarch's eyes lit up, and the expression on his face suddenly became determined. At this moment, Morong Yu's heart was suddenly enveloped by an extremely strong sense of danger. Pale with fright, he waved his hand and immediately put Duan Hun and Huang Yaqian into the Hichu Luoshu. At the same time, he also wanted to enter the Hichu Luoshu and directly teleport away. However, he realized that he could not enter the Hichu Luoshu. The space in the main hall had actually been frozen. Since he could not enter the Hichu Luoshu, then he would directly charge out. However, Morong Yu felt as if he had sunk into a swamp. His speed was not even 1% of his peak speed. He, who could originally cross the Origin Star Realm in 1 step, could not even cross the main hall in 1 step. Boom! A loud, muffled sound was heard. In the next moment, Morong Yu and everyone in the main hall felt the scene in front of them change. The main hall was still the main hall, but the outside of the main hall was sealed. It was as if they were covered by an extremely powerful Origin treasure. Morong Yu's heart sank as he turned to look at Bai Tai and the 3 patriarchs of the Bai clan. However, He realized that everyone from the Bai clan who was originally in the main hall had already disappeared. Only the guests were still there. A guest at the third stage of the Netherworld realm suddenly let out a scream. Then, Murong Yu and the others saw that the guest's body suddenly became transparent. Then, with a kacha-kacha sound, it broke apart. In less than an instant, the guest had disappeared without a trace. And this guest was just the beginning. After him, the guests who were weaker all turned into dust one after another and died directly. Bai clan, are you trying to start a war with the various forces? Someone in the main hall shouted in fear. The rest used the forces behind them to suppress the Bai clan and make the Bai clan let them go. However, Murong Yu sneered. If the Bai clan had such scruples, they would have gotten them out long ago. These people did not think about how to resist these deaths, but they wanted the Bai clan to let them go. They were simply too stupid. This should be the space of a treasure. After some observation, Murong Yu realized that they had been kept in a treasure. The reason why the guests had been reduced to dust was because their powers, flesh, and souls had been devoured by the treasure he was in. The useful ones had been swallowed, and the useless ones had been blasted into powder. Murong Yu frowned slightly. He also felt a powerful force acting on his body, trying to pull his strength, soul, flesh, and blood out of his body. Once his strength, soul, flesh, and blood were pulled out, Murong Yu's body would also turn into powder like the guest. He could not be more dead. However, Murong Yu was strong. Although the treasure's power was strong, it could not do anything to him. However, Murong Yu also realized that the treasure's power was gradually increasing. In fact, Murong Yu also realized that as more and more guests were devoured, the treasure's power became stronger. It seemed that the more it devoured, the more powerful the treasure became. If this continued, Murong Yu was afraid that he would be in danger. Murong Yu's immensely powerful divine sense spread out and enveloped the treasure space. He wanted to get a clear look at what it was. It's all that bastard's fault. If it wasn't for him, the Bai family wouldn't have attacked us. Kill him! At this moment, a guest's eyes were spitting fire as he glared at Murong Yu. At the same time, he pounced over. The others were also angered, and they all rushed towards Murong Yu. Murong Yu shook his head. Although these people had been implicated because of him, they were all fish in the moat. However, at this juncture of life and death, they did not work together to get through this crisis. Instead, they wanted to kill him. Even if they killed him, would the Bai family let them go? Get lost! Murong Yu coldly snorted as an incomparably berserk aura erupted from his body. It directly blasted the experts who were rushing over away. This was a warning. If these people dared to do it a second time, he would definitely not mind killing them all. However, after killing them, the treasure's power would be directed at him alone. A hint of fear appeared in everyone's eyes. There was no lack of level 8 Insight Realm experts among them. However, the gap between them and Murong Yu was too big. They were no match for Murong Yu at all. Therefore, they did not dare to continue attacking Murong Yu. However, Murong Yu didn't pay any attention to them. He simply sat down cross-legged and began to study this mysterious treasure with rapt attention. Chapter 2052. This unknown treasure was very magical. While Murong Yu was studying it, the strength of the relatively weaker people was continuously devoured and turned into dust. The power of the treasure was becoming stronger and stronger. At this moment, everyone except Murong Yu finally reacted. They were no longer conflicted about whether they could kill Murong Yu. Instead, they gathered together and began to work together to resist the devouring of the treasure. Outside the treasure, the Bai family's original hall had long been reduced to dust and razed to the ground. However, a large cauldron appeared out of thin air in its place. The large cauldron looked ordinary, but it was indeed very simple. There were even some simple patterns carved on it. From the looks of it, this large cauldron was quite old. However, the magical thing was that although the large cauldron was not transparent, the people outside the large cauldron could clearly see the people inside the large cauldron. However, the place where the main hall was originally located had been sealed by the three ancestors of the Bai family. Other than the three of them, no one in the Bai family could see this scene. After all, this was not a good thing. Once the news of them refining the powerhouses of other forces spread, the Bai family would have to bear the anger of many forces. The Bai family did not have a creation realm powerhouse yet, so they could not bear the anger of many forces. Boss, second brother, looks like we have to add fuel to the fire. Looking at Morong Yu and the others in the large cauldron, the third brother of the Bai family sneered. Morong Yu's strength was beyond their expectations. With the current power of the large cauldron, it was impossible to refine him. Moreover, after the other powerhouses gathered together, their powerful strength gathered into a solid fortress, making the large cauldron unable to refine them. However, even so, the people in the large cauldron could only passively defend because they could not rush out of the large cauldron. In fact, they did not even find the exit of the large cauldron. Therefore, there was no need to talk about rushing out. After refining these people, the large cauldron might break through to the creation realm. The second brother of the Bai family nodded slightly. The large cauldron was actually an incomplete origin artifact. It was accidentally obtained by the brothers a few years ago. Later, they discovered that the large cauldron could devour the souls, strength, and flesh of cultivators to evolve. Therefore, during these years, the three ancestors of the Bai clan frequently took action and allowed the cauldron to devour many cultivators. However, they had originally only been in the 9th level of the profound underworld tier. Even if the three of them were in the 3rd level of the profound underworld tier, there was still an extremely large distance between them and the Genesis tier. Thus, they had no way of killing a Genesis tier cultivator. However, there were many Nether Enlightenment realm experts that had died at their hand. However, the enormous cauldron's appetite was too great. Even though it had devoured many 9th level Nether Enlightenment realm experts, it was still unable to break through. However, the three ancestors of the Bai clan had a feeling. Once it swallowed Morong Yu, the cauldron would definitely advance to the creation realm. At that time, their Bai clan would also become a force on the level of creation tier in one go, and become the ruler of the 100 Apertures galaxy. Thus, the three of them placed their hands on the cauldron. In the next moment, a tremendous amount of power gushed into the cauldron like raging waves. 1. With the support of these three incomparably powerful forces, the cauldron began to tremble violently. Within the cauldron, the devouring power of the cauldron increased tenfold, and it was still increasing at a crazy speed. A 5th level Nether Enlightenment realm cultivator was caught off guard. After letting out a scream, his entire body rapidly turned transparent and then shattered, and this was only the beginning. Immediately after, the souls, strength, and flesh of the Nether Enlightenment realm experts were continuously devoured clean. The fortress that was originally formed by the crowd was instantly destroyed. In less than a few breaths of time, 1/3 of the cultivators were completely devoured. At this moment, Morong Yu felt that the power of the cauldron had already risen to the 9th level of the Nether Enlightenment realm. The power of this level also began to have some effect on him. However, it was only a little effect. It was still not enough to devour his power. 1. The power of the cauldron was still increasing. After the last cultivator apart from Morong Yu was refined, the cauldron shook violently again, and its power suddenly increased by 100 times, reaching the level of the creation realm. The level of the creation realm was at least 100 times stronger than Morong Yu. At this moment, the power enveloped Morong Yu like a storm, crazily devouring Morong Yu's power. This power was much stronger than Morong Yu's. Morong Yu's power could no longer stand tall like a mountain. After a bang, Morong Yu's power quickly surged out of his body like a dam bursting. In fact, in addition to the power, the devouring power also acted on his physical body, wanting to devour his flesh and blood. On the other hand, Murong Yu's soul remained motionless in the soul space. Murong Yu frowned slightly. The billions of roots of the tree of life in his dantian that were rooted in the endless chaos began to tremble violently. Waves of Del's chaotic power continuously surged into his body like a flood, replenishing his rapidly depleting power. According to the speed of recovery, it should be equal to the depleting power. However, if I can't break out, the more power this treasure devours, the stronger it will become. In the end, the power that my tree of life devours can't catch up to the power that is being devoured. In the end, I will be sucked dry. I have to think of a way to leave this place. Murong Yu thought in his heart, and his frown became more and more intense. Because he couldn't find the exit of this treasure at all, he still hadn't found the flaw of this treasure. Haha, the big cauldron has finally broken through to the creation realm. Now it can erupt with the power of the creation realm. At this moment, outside the big cauldron, the three ancestors of the Bai family were extremely excited. The big cauldron was different from ordinary origin artifacts. Ordinary creation realm origin artifacts, even if they could erupt with the power of the creation realm, their power would be sucked dry in an instant, and they would even be sucked dry to death. But the big cauldron was different. It didn't even need their power to move it. In fact, the big cauldron could even kill people by itself. It was simply like a creation realm powerhouse. This kid is really tenacious. The three ancestors of the Bai family were amazed by Murong Yu's strength. At this moment, Murong Yu, who was inside the big cauldron, exploded into pieces with a bang. He couldn't be more dead. The three of them didn't suspect anything and directly took back the big cauldron. It's a pity. This kid is only in the creation realm, but he has the terrifying strength of the 9th level of the insight realm. If we can get his cultivation technique, our strength will become even stronger, the third ancestor of the Bai family said with a look of pity. The eldest and second ancestors of the Bai family also felt that it was a pity. However, the big cauldron's advancement quickly made them excited. Boss, I think we can set off now. I can't wait to unify the 100 Holes galaxy, the second ancestor of the Bai family said excitedly, suggesting that the eldest of the Bai family go and unify the 100 Holes galaxy now. What a daydream! Before the eldest of the Bai family could say anything, a disdainful and cold voice suddenly sounded in their ears. The three ancestors of the Bai family were stunned. Just as they felt that this voice was somewhat familiar, a young man suddenly appeared in their line of sight. Murong Yu, you're not dead yet? The three ancestors of the Bai family were instantly shocked. Wasn't Murong Yu refined by the big cauldron? How did he come back to life? Soul Storm. As he spoke, Murong Yu had already launched a soul attack. Originally, his combat strength was much stronger than the three ancestors of the Bai family. However, a soul attack was even more terrifying than a physical attack. Moreover, Murong Yu's sneak attack caught the three ancestors of the Bai family off guard. Therefore, while the three ancestors of the Bai family were still in shock, their souls had already been shattered by Murong Yu. With a strong sense of confusion, the three ancestors of the Bai family died just like that. Even when they died, they still didn't understand how Murong Yu came back to life. Whoosh! After the souls of the three ancestors of the Bai family were shattered, Murong Yu quickly reached out and grabbed the ancient cauldron. This cauldron had almost refined him. It was quite powerful. After putting the cauldron into the Hichu Luoshu, Murong Yu finally let out a sigh of relief. Thinking back to the previous scene, he still felt that he was very lucky. The three ancestors of the Bai family saw Murong Yu being refined, but in reality, it wasn't Murong Yu who was being refined, but one of his energy clones. In an instant, Murong Yu transformed into an energy clone. At the same time that his energy clone appeared, his true body hid itself. Originally, this was just a trial by Murong Yu, and the success rate wasn't high. However, He didn't expect the three ancestors of the Bai family to be so complacent. After realizing that Morong Yu had died, they didn't even check before putting the cauldron away. If they had been on it for a few breaths, they would have realized that something was wrong with the cauldron. This was because although Morong Yu was invisible, the cauldron was still devouring his energy. As long as one of the three ancestors of the Bai family noticed this, Morong Yu wouldn't be able to escape quickly, let alone kill them. Therefore, no matter how powerful one was, or how terrifying one's trump card was, one must always be careful. Otherwise, one would fail miserably. After taking away the cauldron, Morong Yu also took away all the interspatial treasures of the three ancestors. In fact, before he left, he even emptied the Bai family's treasury. After all, the Bai family wasn't anything good. They were all ill-gotten gains, so it would be a waste to not take their things. As for Bai Tai and the others, Morong Yu didn't kill them. The Bai family had too many enemies, so there was no need for Morong Yu to do anything. Once the Bai family's enemies found out that the three ancestors of the Bai family were dead, the Bai family would probably be wiped out overnight. Moreover, Morong Yu was also very cunning. Before he left, he spread the news that the ancestors of the Bai family had refined many of the guests. It didn't matter if the others believed it or not, he just needed to spread the news. Chapter 2053. Sure enough, not long after Morong Yu left, the Bai family was annihilated. In addition to the Bai family's past enemies, there were also some allies of the Bai family. Most of these allies were families and forces that had gone to attend Bai Tai's wedding. When they learned that their people had been refined by the Bai family's ancestor, they were furious and immediately sent out powerhouses. In the end, the Bai family was completely wiped out from the 100 Apertures galaxy. Even the disciples of the Bai family who were stranded outside were hunted down by many forces. In the end, only a small part of the Bai family escaped outside the 100 Apertures galaxy. It could be said that the Bai family was completely annihilated. On the other side, Master, Mistress, are you really going to leave the 100 Apertures galaxy? Looking at the sweet couple in front of him, Morong Yu asked somewhat puzzledly. When they learned that the Bai family was annihilated and they were safe, Duan Hun and Huang Yaqian were naturally overjoyed. At the same time, they were also very grateful to Morong Yu. However, in the end, they decided to leave the 100 Apertures galaxy, a place that hurt them. The Bai family was already annihilated, and the Huang family was still Huang Yaqian's family. They did not destroy the Huang family. Even if they returned to the Huang family openly, the Huang family would not do anything to them. On the contrary, they would worship them as if they were their ancestors. However, the two of them decided to leave in the end and live a happy life in another galaxy. Duan Hun nodded. Morong Yu, my aptitude is average. I will only drag you down if I stay by your side. Moreover, now that I have you, mistress, I don't want to continue wandering. So, Morong Yu nodded. He also wanted to live this kind of life. However, the reality was too helpless. He was like a hatred attractor, constantly attracting hatred. He could not stop at all. If he stopped, his ending would be very tragic. Therefore, Morong Yu did not continue to persuade Duan Hun and Huang Yaqian to stay. Instead, he handed over the Bai family's treasury to Duan Hun, as well as some sun crystals, chaos origin liquid, and other treasures. These things were enough for Duan Hun to cultivate to the creation realm. Duan Hun didn't refuse. After accepting Morong Yu's gift, he left with Huang Yaqian in a carefree manner to live a happy life together. Morong Yu had nothing better to do. After entering Hichu Luoshu, he took out the cauldron that he had taken from elder ancestor Bai. Morong Yu now had 3 cauldrons in his hands. One of them was naturally the Yin-Yang cauldron that he had obtained from the cultivation world. This was in existence at the level of a supreme treasure. The other was the huge cauldron that he had seized from Lin Hongzhe. It was a soul-type origin artifact and was equally powerful. However, Murong Yu had already given the soul cauldron to Zhao Jiqing. There was no other way. Murong Yu also wanted to be fair, but there was only one soul cauldron. He could only give it to Zhao Jiqing. As soon as he held the cauldron in his hand, Murong Yu impatiently probed it with his spiritual force, wanting to recognize the cauldron as its master. No. As soon as Murong Yu's spiritual force entered the cauldron, he suddenly woke up with a start. Although the cauldron was indeed precious and its abilities were quite heaven-defying, it wasn't at the level where it would recognize him as its master at first sight. Moreover, Murong Yu originally didn't plan to recognize the cauldron as its master. He planned to refine it to increase his realm and strength. It was because of this cauldron. A glint flashed across Murong Yu's eyes. This cauldron could actually affect his mind? This was practically a demonic cauldron. Recognize me as your master and I can make you the most powerful existence in the world. You can even become the controller of chaos. At this moment, a dispirited voice suddenly rang in Murong Yu's mind. Hearing this voice, Murong Yu instantly felt dispirited. Without another word, he wanted to recognize the demonic cauldron as its master. However, Murong Yu wasn't an ordinary person after all. He quickly reacted. A cold light flashed past his eyes, and he slammed his fist on the demonic cauldron. Don't play tricks with me. Do you believe that I won't refine you directly? After almost falling for it again and again, Murong Yu couldn't help but feel a little angry. However, at the same time, he was more shocked. After all, his mind was extremely powerful. Even creation realm or celestial realm experts would find it difficult to confuse his mind. However, this demonic cauldron had done it easily. If he was still in the low-level creation realm, he would have foolishly recognized the demonic cauldron as its master long ago. After recognizing him as its master, he really didn't know if Murong Yu would control the demonic cauldron or if the demonic cauldron would control him. He could feel that this demonic cauldron definitely wasn't something good. If Murong Yu was already bewitching him now, wouldn't Murong Yu become his puppet once he fell under his control? Recognize me as your master and I can make you the most powerful being in the world. You can even become the controller of chaos. The weak voice sounded in Murong Yu's mind again, bewitching Murong Yu's soul. Although Murong Yu had long since prepared himself, he still nearly lost his composure. He couldn't help but feel shocked. Moreover, the demonic cauldron's words were completely different. The first time, it wanted Murong Yu to recognize it as his master. It wanted Murong Yu to recognize it as his master. However, the second sentence had changed to recognizing the demonic cauldron as its master. It was a completely different concept. The three ancestors of the Bai family had probably been controlled by the demonic cauldron and had become its puppet. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been able to activate the demonic cauldron's strongest power. Who are you? Murong Yu shouted in a low voice. He didn't think that the demonic cauldron was a weapon spirit. A weapon spirit wasn't this powerful and its demonic nature wasn't this strong. The demonic cauldron definitely had a trace of spiritual consciousness left by some expert. That person might be the demonic cauldron's master. However, no matter how Murong Yu looked, he couldn't find anything. The demonic cauldron's master must be extremely powerful. It was very likely that he was a supreme being in the celestial realm. Recognize me as your master and I can make you the most powerful being in the world. You can even become the controller of chaos. Recognize me as your master and I can make you the most powerful being in the world. You can even become the controller of chaos. The demonic cauldron didn't answer Murong Yu's words. It just kept repeating these words in an attempt to bewitch Murong Yu. This caused Murong Yu's anger to soar to the skies. He had the chaotic celestial body constitution. Only someone with the chaotic celestial body could become the controller of chaos. It was just a possibility. It wasn't a certainty. The demonic cauldron kept saying that it could make him the most powerful being in the world and even become the controller of chaos. This was nonsense. But what if it was someone else? They would have believed it. Not many people knew about the chaotic celestial body constitution. After becoming the controller of chaos and being bewitched by the demonic cauldron, how many people could remain sane? Even Morong Yu was almost bewitched. In that case, I'll refine you directly. Morong Yu was also determined. He directly swallowed the demonic cauldron and prepared to refine it. This demonic cauldron was too strange. It gave Morong Yu a sense of danger. He definitely wouldn't give this demonic cauldron to his own people to use. But what if he lost it? What if an enemy picked it up? Wouldn't it become the strongest treasure to fight against him? Therefore, Morong Yu planned to refine it to increase his strength. The chaos furnace shook violently and frantically refined the demonic cauldron. However, the demonic cauldron didn't move at all. After refining for an hour, it couldn't refine it at all. With Morong Yu's current strength, it was enough to refine an ordinary Genesis Realm Origin weapon. Even if it was an advanced Genesis Realm Origin weapon, although the refining speed was slower, it could still be refined. In other words, this damaged demonic cauldron wasn't as simple as a Genesis Realm Origin weapon. It was at least a Heaven Realm Origin weapon. It was the same principle as the weapon fragment, however. The more powerful the demonic cauldron was, the more dangerous it made Morong Yu feel. The more he wanted to refine it. After half a day, the demonic cauldron still hadn't been refined at all. During this process, Morong Yu took out the Hichu Luoshu, the Yin-Yang cauldron, the Black Thunder Pearl, and even the puppet, but it still couldn't do anything to the demonic cauldron. In the end, Morong Yu took out the weapon fragment, Buzz. The moment the weapon fragment appeared, the weapon fragment and the demonic cauldron moved at the same time. Then, before Morong Yu could react, the two origin weapons had already collided fiercely in the chaos furnace. The terrifying impact instantly exploded. Morong Yu was caught off guard and the entire chaos furnace almost exploded. This shocked and infuriated Morong Yu. The chaos furnace was the only shortcut for him to quickly improve his realm. If the chaos furnace exploded, he could only rely on a long time to cultivate and slowly improve his strength. Thus, with a thought, he threw the demonic cauldron and the weapon fragment out of his body and directly out of the Hichu Luoshu. Boom, boom, boom. The two damaged origin weapons immediately started fighting. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Day and night dimmed. Instantly, the surrounding planets suffered. One by one, the planets and even the origin planets were destroyed by the power of the two origin artifacts. It was like two Genesis Realm cultivators were fighting. Morong Yu had already retreated far away. At the same time, he was terrified. The demonic cauldron had actually exploded with such terrifying power. If it had exploded with this power at the beginning, he would probably have been killed already. However, why didn't the demonic cauldron kill him? Did it want to control Morong Yu? After all, the three ancestors of the Bai family that it had previously controlled were already dead. It now needed a new puppet to help it devour more power so that it could recover to its peak as soon as possible. This was Morong Yu's thought. What Morong Yu didn't know was that the demonic cauldron had this idea. Could it be that the owner of the demonic cauldron and the weapon fragment's original owner are old acquaintances? Or even mortal enemies? Or perhaps the reason why the two origin weapons shattered was because of their battle? Morong Yu thought as he watched the earth-shattering battle in front of him. At this moment, the weapon fragment was still his origin weapon, but it was no longer under his control. Chapter 2054. The battle between the two origin tools continued. Because it was a battle on the level of Genesis tier, Morong Yu was still unable to get close, let alone control the weapon fragment. Moreover, during this process, many people had come after hearing the news, but after seeing this terrifying battle, many of them quickly turned around and fled. In a battle of this level, even the ripples of power that leaked out could easily kill them. Moreover, with their speed, if the weapon fragment attacked them, they would not even have time to react, let alone flee. However, in the end, there were still some people who did not fear death, who stayed nearby to watch. Some of these people were battle maniacs, some came to watch with a learning attitude, and some came purely to watch the show. There were also those who came with the idea of picking up scraps. Once both sides were injured or even killed each other, they would be able to pick up scrap. However, the strongest among these people was only at level 9 of the insight tier, so they could not see the battle clearly at all. As a result, they definitely did not think that the earth-shaking battle was actually two damaged origin tools. Morong Yu was also bored to death, so he just entered the Hichu Luoshu to study Rong Jirua's soul. Back then, apart from bringing the little lowly, he had also brought the patient Rong Jirua. The little lowly had not come out to cause trouble during this period of time, but it was not because she had changed. Instead, she had entered secluded cultivation. By the looks of it, she was about to break through to the Genesis tier. Morong Yu went to take a look. Right now, the little lowly was currently cultivating. Her aura was becoming stronger and stronger, already infinitely close to the Genesis tier. Morong Yu did not find this strange. The little lowly's background was too terrifying. Who knew what kind of major figure was behind her? With her age, breaking through to the Genesis tier now was already extremely slow. Morong Yu did not disturb the little lowly. Instead, he turned around and arrived beside Rong Jirua. Rong Jirua's soul was in a mess, broken into billions of fragments. However, with Morong Yu's help, her soul had already recovered around 30% during this period of time. Although it was only 30%, dripping water would wear through stone. Morong Yu would be able to completely recover Rong Jirua's soul sooner or later. He just needed time. Moreover, as she had recovered around a third of her soul, Rong Jirua had recovered a portion of her memories. She was very happy to see Morong Yu. However, she was no longer like a child who threw herself into Morong Yu's arms and acted like a spoiled child. Although she would still call Morong Yu Big Brother. But at this moment, she was a well-educated and well-mannered young lady. Each and every one of her actions had the demeanor of a lady from a noble family. Moreover, along with the gradual recovery of her soul, Rong Jirua's soul had already attained the high rank of the insight realm. Moreover, because of her soul, she was unable to cultivate. This not only made Morong Yu guess Rong Jirua's identity. Originally, when the Milky Way auction house had bid for Rong Jirua, the auction house had said that Rong Jirua was a netherworld insight cultivator. However, Morong Yu now guessed that Rong Jirua was at least a Genesis realm cultivator. Why would the Milky Way auction house auction a Genesis realm cultivator in a remote place like the solar system? A hint of doubt appeared in Morong Yu's mind. However, after recovering her memories, Rong Jirua did not hide anything from Morong Yu. She directly told Morong Yu that she was a member of the Rong family. Moreover, her status in the Rong family seemed to be quite high. However, Morong Yu had not discovered a single large family with the surname Rong even after traveling through several galaxies. However, as Rong Jirua continued to recover, the answer that Morong Yu wanted would still be revealed in the end. Therefore, he was not very conflicted. After chatting with Rong Jirua for a while, Morong Yu began to tidy up her extremely chaotic soul. 3 days later, Rong Jirua's soul was partially recovered again, and Morong Yu discovered that the battle outside was already coming to an end. In the endless starry sky, the two damaged origin artifacts finally revealed themselves. The battle was already over, and the two origin artifacts were facing each other from a distance in the void as if they were glaring at each other angrily. However, the surrounding people could clearly see that the two origin artifacts were trembling violently, as if they were unable to continue. They had probably used up too much energy and had no choice but to stop the battle. And when they saw that the battle was not between two cultivators but between two origin artifacts, the surrounding people were stunned. Then, all of their rationality was controlled by the greed in their heart. They all gathered around, wanting to fight for these two powerful origin artifacts. However, when Morong Yu appeared from the Hichu Luoshu, these people only stood far away and looked at the two damaged origin artifacts with greedy gazes, but did not dare to fight for them. Just when Morong Yu thought that these people were actually so self-disciplined, he saw many broken limbs scattered around the two origin artifacts. Thus, he came to a realization. It was not that these people were self-disciplined, but that they dared to fight. Many of the people who attacked first were killed by the weapon fragments and demonic cauldrons. These people were intimidated. Otherwise, with their greedy hearts, how could they not fight for it? Morong Yu let out a hearty laugh as he stepped into the air and charged towards the weapon fragment. In the process, he directly reached out his hand to grab the weapon fragment. He really has a death wish. Seeing this, the surrounding people all looked at him with disdain. They thought that Morong Yu was too arrogant and was just looking for death. However, in the next moment, their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This was because they saw Morong Yu directly grab the weapon fragment. And the weapon fragments did not resist at all. What was going on? Everyone was thrown into disarray. Each and every one of them felt incredulous. However, some people who reacted quickly had already attacked. Some directly reached out their hands to grab the demonic cauldron, while others directly attacked Morong Yu, wanting to kill Morong Yu and take the weapon fragments. Swoosh! Morong Yu held the weapon fragments and attacked aggressively. However, he did not attack those who attacked him. Instead, he slashed at the demonic cauldron. Clang! After an earth-shattering sound, the demonic cauldron was sent flying without any power to fight back. This caused Morong Yu to be stunned. However, Morong Yu's reaction was not slow. He took a step forward and chased after it. Under everyone's furious gazes, Morong Yu grabbed the demonic cauldron again with his agile arms. In the next instant, Morong Yu took another step forward. Immediately after, everyone saw a figure flash before their eyes and Morong Yu disappeared from their line of sight. He directly teleported away. Even if these people turned the 100-whole galaxy upside down, they would not find any trace of Morong Yu. In Hichu Luoshu, Morong Yu looked at the demonic cauldron and laughed coldly. Even now, the demonic cauldron still wanted to control him and turn him into a puppet. It really did not give up. Morong Yu was too lazy to talk nonsense with the demonic cauldron. He threw it into the chaos furnace again and started refining. A smile appeared on Morong Yu's face as soon as it started. Perhaps because of the battle with the weapon fragments, the demonic cauldron had lost more than half of its power. Morong Yu had just started refining when he saw the demonic cauldron being refined. Although the effect was poor and the speed was slow, Morong Yu had a lot of time now. He could still refine the demonic cauldron. In the following time, Morong Yu did not go anywhere. He did not go to the Xingyang Dao mansion either. He only focused on refining the demonic cauldron. Although the Xingyang Dao mansion was suitable for cultivation, it could not help Morong Yu break through to the next level. However, refining the demonic cauldron could still help Morong Yu break through to the next level. Moreover, the demonic cauldron's appearance and power gave Morong Yu a bad feeling. Therefore, no matter what, he would refine the demonic cauldron. Time acceleration. Year after year passed. As time passed, the demonic cauldron was constantly being refined. When 1/10 of the demonic cauldron was refined, it started to collapse like a broken dam. Morong Yu's refining speed suddenly sped up. His power was also increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Boy, you dare to refine my treasure? When Morong Yu refined 1/3 of the demonic cauldron, a low, demonic, and murderous voice suddenly sounded in Morong Yu's ears. The moment the voice sounded, Morong Yu's soul paused. It was as though someone had imprisoned him. At that moment, the weapon fragments shook violently. An inexplicable power appeared and immediately shattered the demonic sound of the demonic cauldron. A trace of shock flashed through Morong Yu's eyes. However, he did not stop. Instead, he sped up the refining speed. You've successfully angered the patriarch. Hurry up and stop, or you'll die. The demonic sound was furious and kept attacking Morong Yu. However, it was all washed away by the power of the weapon fragment. Although it affected Morong Yu to a certain extent, Morong Yu was not actually affected. Morong Yu did not care about the demonic sound at all. He had completely offended the demon now. He did not think that the demon would let him go if he gave up refining now. Moreover, so what if he really refined it? The endless starry sky was so big. The chances of the demon finding him were almost infinitely close to zero. In that case, what did he have to be afraid of? However, what Morong Yu didn't know was that this demon wasn't an ordinary ancestor like he'd imagined. Ordinary patriarchs were the few people who were more powerful in a certain force. People of any realm could be called patriarch. However, this demon's power was very terrifying. It was far from what ordinary patriarchs could compare to. However, he did not know that now. Many years later, when he learned the true identity and power of this demon, he still could not help but feel waves of fear. It was precisely because of what happened today that he and the demon were in a state of limbo. For a long time after that, Morong Yu had always lived under the shadow of that demon. Of course, this was all in the future. Now, Morong Yu was not fearless. He directly refined the demonic cauldron into a pile of residue. Morong Yu's realm also broke through again. Chapter 2055. Level 8 of the Creation Realm. After refining the incomplete magic cauldron, Morong Yu's cultivation realm broke through again. Moreover, under his deliberate efforts, his cultivation, soul, and body broke through at the same time. His strength soared again. After consolidating his current strength, Morong Yu discovered that although his cultivation realm had broken through again, it did not allow him to rush to the creation realm in one fell swoop. After all, there was still a huge gap between the creation realm and the creation realm. Even someone as heaven-defying as Morong Yu could not cross that huge gap. However, Morong Yu could feel that his strength was extremely close to that of a rank 1 world creation realm. Originally, when he was at level 7 of the creation realm, Morong Yu's combat strength was at the peak of the insight realm. If there was a gap of 100 times between this combat strength and the creation realm of the other world, then, after breaking through, Morong Yu had reduced this gap by 20 times, reaching a gap of 80 times. Although there was still a gap of 80 times, the improvement was already very obvious. Moreover, Morong Yu was only at level 8 of the creation realm now. Perhaps after he broke through to level 9 of the creation realm, he would cross the 80 times gap and reach the creation realm in one fell swoop? Morong Yu had only inadvertently sensed the existence of the holy world. Originally, during this period of time, the connection with the holy world was faintly discernible, and sometimes he could not sense it at all. Therefore, he did not have much hope at first. However, after sensing it, the result made him extremely happy. The connection between the holy world and him was more than 10 times stronger than before. Although it was still a little vague, Morong Yu could already clearly sense the existence of the holy world. He could even sense the location of the holy world. In the past, although he had a faint connection with the holy world, he only knew that the holy world was temporarily safe and did not know anything else. Now, he had made great progress. In his joy, Morong Yu sensed again, but he was still unable to directly communicate with the origin of the holy world. However, at least he could sense that the current holy world was still complete, and there should not be any major changes. However, this was only temporary. Although he knew that something would happen in the future? Since I know the rough direction of the saint's world now, it's time for me to pursue it. After a moment of thought, Morong Yu returned to the solar system. After arranging some matters, he left the solar system in a hurry, quickly pursuing the saint's world. Murong Yu passed by one star system after another. He went from a remote solar system to a bustling one. The Tiger Claw Galaxy and the 100 Aperture Galaxy were at least 100 times larger than the solar system. However, when Murong Yu appeared in a galaxy with a creation realm elite, he discovered that these galaxies were even larger. The solar system was not even the tip of the iceberg of these galaxies. The number of experts? There was no comparison at all. Scarlet Thunder Galaxy. The Scarlet Thunder Galaxy was the first galaxy that Murong Yu had reached that had a creation realm cultivator. This galaxy was clearly different from the Tiger Claw Galaxy and the 100 Aperture Galaxy. Once they entered the range of this galaxy, red lightning could be seen falling from the sky everywhere. The sky was filled with crimson lightning. Looking from afar, this kind of crimson lightning actually had a different kind of beauty. However, if one only thought that this crimson lightning was beautiful, they would be gravely mistaken. Murong Yu discovered that normal crimson lightning was not very powerful. However, some extremely terrifying crimson lightning would occasionally appear in the sky filled with crimson lightning. Murong Yu had seen it with his own eyes. There was an extremely terrifying crimson lightning that appeared out of thin air and blasted a peak level 9 Insight Realm Elite to the point that not even dregs were left behind. Hence, all the cities in the Scarlet Thunder Galaxy had a protective shield, and it was activated day and night. In fact, some forces even had a protective shield that enveloped the entire Origin planet all day long, resisting the crimson lightning that might suddenly appear. However, the protective shields of these Origin planets or cities consumed a large amount of energy every day. Hence, anyone who entered these Origin planets or cities had to pay an extremely high fee, Origin crystals. At this moment, Murong Yu was in front of the city gate of a large city, queuing up to enter the city. No one dared to barge in recklessly, because there was a Genesis Realm Elite standing at the city gate. Even if there were Genesis Realm Elites among the people queuing up, they did not dare to act recklessly. After all, the City Lord's mansion had more than one Genesis Realm Elite. The crowd moved slowly, and crimson lightning continuously descended from the sky. The crimson lightning had already drowned everyone. Murong Yu was currently studying these crimson lightning. He could not understand why there were so many crimson lightning in the Scarlet Thunder Galaxy. Furthermore, these lightning bolts were crimson. It was the first time in his life that he had seen lightning of this color. Suddenly, Murong Yu's soul trembled fiercely. An extremely strong and dangerous aura suddenly enveloped his heart. "Be careful, crimson death lightning is coming," Murong Yu warned. At the same time, he took a step forward, and with a sway of his figure, he had already disappeared from where he was, avoiding far away. Hearing Murong Yu's warning, everyone in front of the city gate was in an uproar. Some people even jumped out immediately as if it was a conditioned reflex. However, some people did not move at all. There was no movement at all, so where was the crimson death lightning? After a few breaths, there was no crimson death lightning descending. Thus, the surrounding people glared angrily at Murong Yu. In fact, some people even charged toward Murong Yu with murderous intent. They all felt that Murong Yu had tricked them. In the Scarlet Thunder Galaxy, there were many elite. However, there were 4 words that made these elites, including Genesis Realm elites, pale at the mention of it: Crimson Death Lightning. Crimson Death Lightning was actually the terrifying lightning that suddenly appeared in the crimson lightning that filled the sky and contained terrifying power. These bolts of lightning appeared without any warning, and they contained extremely terrifying power. Once struck, most experts would be killed before they could even react. Thus, it was called Crimson Death Lightning by everyone. When Murong Yu saw those people walking towards him with ill intentions, he ignored them and continued to look up at the sky. The strong and dangerous aura that enveloped his heart became stronger and stronger. That terrifying danger even made Murong Yu smell the aura of death. He dared to confirm that a terrifying crimson death lightning was definitely brewing up above. Hence, he retreated explosively again, leaving far away from this place. In reality, his best method now was to enter the city. However, before paying origin crystals, it was impossible for him to enter the city. Seeing Murong-Yu retreat at lightning speed, those people in front of the city gates could not help sneering repeatedly. They all thought that Murong-Yu was afraid of their revenge, so he fled. Regarding this, Murong-Yu also sneered repeatedly in his heart. He had already reminded them once. Since these people did not take it seriously, then it had nothing to do with him. Gotcha! Just as Murong-Yu continued to retreat, a crisp but not loud sound suddenly sounded out in the sky above the city gate. Murong-Yu clearly saw a crimson death lightning that was like a mountain descending fiercely from the sky. Before everyone reacted, it had already blasted into the heaven and earth of the city gate. Murong-Yu's face was filled with shock, because he saw with incomparable clarity that those elites at the city gates, including those creation tier elites, had already been struck by the crimson death lightning without even the time to react. And then there was no more and then. Everyone was blasted into smithereens in an instant. They couldn't be any more dead than this. Among those people, there were quite a number of creation tier elite. Murong-Yu's heart was instantly enveloped by a strong aura of danger, and could not be shaken off for a long time. The Crimson Thunder Galaxy was really too terrifying. Living here, one could be killed by the crimson death lightning that appeared without warning at any time. I have to hurry and leave the Crimson Thunder Galaxy, Murong-Yu thought in his heart, and once again flew towards the city gates. At this time, there was already no one at the city gate. Everyone had been completely killed by that crimson death lightning. However, though that crimson death lightning was terrifying, it was still unable to shatter the energy shield of the city. Thus, when Murong-Yu arrived at the city gates, a few gatekeeping guards appeared. Among them was the creation tier elite that had originally been standing at the city gate. When this creation tier elite saw Murong-Yu, an indescribable light flashed past the depths of his eyes. Murong-Yu did not notice either. After paying the expensive entrance fee, he swaggered into the city. Then, he headed straight for the teleportation formation in the city. There was no other way. If he wanted to leave the Crimson Thunder Galaxy, he had to use the teleportation formation. "Sir, why have you followed me for so long?" Murong-Yu suddenly stopped on the street, and turned his head to look behind him with a cold expression. "Little brother, don't mind, I have no ill intentions." A figure walked out from the shadows, and it was precisely that creation tier elite that had originally been standing at the city gates. This guy's reaction was unusually fast, and he had originally been inside the city gates, so he had not been killed by the crimson death lightning previously. However, it had also given him a shock. If not for Murong-Yu's warning, he probably would not have retreated at all. If he had not retreated with his reaction speed, he would probably have been killed by the crimson lightning. Thus, he had noticed Murong-Yu. After Murong-Yu had entered the city, he had reported Murong-Yu's special ability to the city lord. The creation tier elite walked in front of Murong-Yu, and said very politely, "Little brother, our city lord invites you. I hope you can give the city lord some face, and go to the city lord's residence." Murong-Yu frowned slightly. He did not know the city lord of this city. In fact, he did not even know the name of this city. Most importantly, he did not want to get involved with the people here. Thus, he shook his head, turned around, and was about to leave. Seeing that Murong-Yu did not give the city lord any face at all, and was about to leave directly, the creation tier elite could not help but become anxious. "Little brother, please make a trip to the city lord's residence. I dare guarantee that you will definitely not regret it." Chapter 2056. Murong-Yu's footsteps paused. At this moment, how did he not know that this Genesis tier would definitely invite him? He was only in the creation tier, and in the eyes of a Genesis tier, he couldn't even be considered an ant, right? But this Genesis tier elite was so polite to him. Then, he must have sensed Morong Yu's abnormality. Morong Yu could sense the arrival of the Crimson Lightning. The Crimson Lightning came without any warning, so who could discover that it would appear first? Where would it descend? Only Morong Yu could do that. Morong Yu was not a fool, and he immediately sensed this. Thus, he felt some regret. If he had known, he wouldn't have spoken up to warn him, and he could have just left silently. Now it was all good. He had been noticed. The city lord's manner was very powerful. All right, then I'll go with you. In the end, Morong Yu agreed to it. The other party definitely had some request for his ability. Furthermore, he was still relatively polite now. If Morong Yu continued to be shameless, he did not dare guarantee that this person would not directly make a move to suppress him. Since that was the case, then he'd better drink a toast. Drinking a forfeit was not nice. Haha, little brother, I dare guarantee that the city lord will definitely not treat you unfairly. Our city lord is quite generous. The Genesis tier elite laughed loudly, and led Morong Yu straight to the city lord's manor. On the way, Morong Yu learned that this Genesis tier elite was called Emoching, and his status in the city lord's manor was not low. However, he still did not know what level Emoching's ability had reached. Of course, Emoching also knew Morong Yu's name. Emoching brought Morong Yu to the front of a large hall in the city lord's manor, and then stopped. Brother Morong, the city lord is inside the large hall. You can go in by yourself. Morong Yu nodded, and then strode into the large hall. There was no one else in the large hall, only a middle-aged man with a fair face and no beard, exuding an aura of elegance from head to toe, sitting on the main seat. When the middle-aged man saw Morong Yu, he immediately stood up, took a step forward, and looked at Morong Yu. You are Morong Yu? Please sit. Morong Yu did not act pretentious, and directly sat down. Then, a maid served them hot tea. Try our specialty here. Crimson red fog, it has a certain effect on comprehension. The city lord smiled slightly, indicating that Morong Yu drink tea. Morong Yu's heart buts TSS. The tea was indeed delicious, and it could indeed increase one's perception by a tiny bit. But the city lord must have something to ask for something? But this guy did not say Morong Yu's, city lord, I'm a person who likes to get straight to the point. So, city lord, please speak your mind. In the end, Morong Yu decided to speak his mind. The more he ate the other party, the harder it would be to solve the problem later. Good. Straightforward. The city lord first looked at Morong Yu with admiration, and then slowly said, Recently, we have discovered a mystery realm, and we need to invite you to go treasure hunting with us. Morong Yu looked directly at the city lord, and a smile appeared on his face. I am only in the creation realm. I am not qualified to participate in a mystery realm that even the city lord is interested in, right? The city lord smiled slightly. In terms of strength, our city lord residence does not lack creation realm elite. Indeed, we do not need others. But one of your abilities is what we lack the most. Your usefulness is even greater than that of a large number of creation realm powerhouses. Morong Yu's heart skipped a beat, and then he smiled slightly. How do you know I have that ability? What if it's just a coincidence? The city lord only smiled slightly, and did not explain much. He only continued, If you can enter the mystery realm with us, then I can make the decision to let you obtain 1/10 of the treasures. That is a mystery realm that even I am interested in. 1/10 of the treasures? Morong Yu's heart shook fiercely. A mystic realm that could move the city lord was definitely not an ordinary mystic realm. 1/10 of the treasures might be able to let Morong Yu directly advance to the netherworld realm. This was a huge temptation. Moreover, taking back the sacred world also required great strength. Otherwise, even if he knew where the sacred world was, without a certain level of strength, he would not be able to take it back. Okay. But I want to personally choose the treasures I need. Murong Yu pondered for a moment, and directly agreed. The city lord was also very straightforward, and directly agreed. Next, Murong Yu was arranged to stay in the city lord residence by Mo Qing. Entering the mystery realm, even the city lord had to make some preparations. Thus, 10 days later, Murong Yu was called over. In the square inside the city lord residence, there were already more than 100 people gathered here. Very obviously, these people were elites of the city lord residence who were going to enter the mystery realm. Mo Qing, what did you bring this trash here for? Don't tell me that you want to bring this trash into the mystery realm? Murong Yu had not even approached when a youth with an insolent expression pointed at Murong Yu and sneered, his eyes full of disdain. The others also looked over. Some were disdainful, some were indifferent, some were watching the fire burn across the river. Murong Yu frowned slightly, somewhat displeased in his heart. He did not know these people at all, and had even less of a grudge. How dare this idiot provoke him? Mo Qing glanced at the other indifferently, a hint of disdain flashing across his eyes, and said indifferently, "This is only the city lord's intention." To Mo Qing, Murong Yu's role was more important than these 100-plus creation realms present. His role was even greater than theirs combined. It was just that these people were used to being arrogant. Mo Qing could not be bothered with them. Trash, the likes of you are worthy of entering the mystery realm? If I were you, I would have backed out long ago. Otherwise, who knows, I might die in the mystery realm. That arrogant youth continued to mock Murong Yu. A cold, killing intent flashed across the depths of Murong Yu's eyes. This idiot was really detestable. However, now was not the time to start a conflict. Most importantly, if they were to fight, he would not be able to defeat the other party at all. After entering the mystery realm, he would just find a chance to kill him again. Murong Yu sneered in his heart. He had already sentenced this idiot to death. And when this idiot saw that Murong Yu did not speak, he thought that Murong Yu was afraid of him. Thus, he stood at the side and mocked Murong Yu crazily, extremely pleased with himself. Mo Qing frowned slightly. This guy's behavior was really detestable. However, Murong Yu, the person in question, had already closed his eyes to rest, so he did not pay too much attention to him. Finally, after the city lord appeared, that idiot finally shut his mouth. Though the city lord was refined, under his authority, how could these people dare to be impudent? Moreover, to be able to become a city lord, which one of them was not a decisive person. A group of people left the city lord's residence, and even left this essence star far away. On the way, it was Mo Qing who flew with Murong Yu. This caused the idiot to crazily ridicule Murong Yu once again. It was so noisy that even Mo Qing could not help but slap that bastard to death. However, as the person in question, Murong Yu was extremely quiet, as if the one being mocked was not him. In reality, he really did not mind. Why would he mind with a person who was about to die? Very soon, they left the original essence star and appeared in the endless starry sky. This is an essence star that is about to die. Just as they approached this essence star, Murong Yu felt a thick death aura from this essence star. Moreover, this essence star was of a very high level. Once it died, the power contained in the star core formed would definitely be very terrifying. Even Genesis tier elites would come to blows because of this. However, this essence star was obviously still some time away from dying naturally. In that case, the city lord's goal should not be this star core. Very soon, they entered this essence star and then directly entered the mystic realm. This essence star should be the headquarters of some large force in the primordial era. This mystic realm is their headquarters. After entering the mystic realm, the city lord stopped and said solemnly, "A force in the primordial era? A force of this level could possibly leave behind many powerful essence weapons, pills, and treasures. Of course, the most precious were their cultivation techniques, combat skills, and various other inheritances. These inheritances should be the city lord's goal. After all, without powerful cultivation techniques and inheritances, it was almost impossible for him to continue to raise his cultivation level. Murong-yu, it's up to you now. After saying that, the city lord nodded at Murong-yu. Murong-yu nodded slightly and observed left and right. He realized that this mystic realm was an independent space. However, there were even more crimson thunderbolts here. The more crimson thunderbolts there were, the higher the chances of crimson dead thunderbolts appearing. When they heard the city lord's words, everyone was unhappy. Especially the idiot who mocked Murong-yu earlier. He jumped out and said, "City lord, this trash is only in the creation realm. It's good that he didn't drag us down. Why are we still relying on him? Did I hear wrongly?" Apart from Imo-chin, the rest of them looked at him with disdain. Originally, they thought that they were the main force. However, they did not expect the city lord to rely on this person whom they looked down on. The city lord did not say anything. He only glanced at these people indifferently and then flew forward with Murong-yu. The crimson thunderbolts in this mystic realm appear at a very high frequency, and the area is even larger. We lost many people earlier on. On the way, the city lord explained to Murong-yu. Murong-yu nodded. Just as he was about to speak, his expression changed drastically. The dangerous aura that appeared at the city gate instantly enveloped his heart. Moreover, the danger was even more intense and came faster. "Retreat quickly!" Murong-yu immediately shouted. The city lord's expression also changed drastically. With a flash, he quickly retreated with Murong-yu. At the same time, the other Creation Realm elites also retreated. However, there were a few Creation Realm elites who did not move. They did not believe Murong-yu at all. Crack, just as Murong-yu retreated, a terrifying crimson dead thunderbolt struck down. Those Creation Realm elites did not even have time to react before they were turned into ashes. Chapter 2057. Seeing this scene, those who had not been killed by the crimson lightning all felt a wave of lingering fear, followed by a period of silence. Then, Murong-yu felt a few pairs of eyes that were filled with gratitude shoot over from the crowd. But there were even more eyes that were filled with complex emotions. In fact, some people's eyes were even filled with jealousy and greed. Logically speaking, it was Murong-yu who had saved them, so they should be grateful. But there were less than 10 people who were grateful. The majority of the others seemed to take it for granted. Of course, they all felt that the city lord had paid a price for inviting Murong-yu over. And the matter of Murong-yu saving them was already included in the price paid by the city lord. Thus, they did not need to be grateful. On the other hand, some people were stunned by Murong-yu's prediction ability. What gave Murong-yu such a frightening ability to predict the future? In the Crimson Thunder Galaxy, those who had this ability were even more respected than elites at the peak of the creation tier, and their status was even higher. Thus, these people harbored evil thoughts. Of course, there was no lack of people who were jealous of Murong-yu. Why did Murong-yu have such frightening prediction ability when his cultivation level was so much higher than theirs? Among them, the envy of that idiot who had previously mocked Murong-yu was the strongest. Murong-yu could already smell the thick scent of jealousy in the air. The city lord's expression was somewhat ugly. This time, it was really too sudden. Though Murong-yu had warned them early on, they had still lost quite a few creation tier elite. These were all elites of the younger generation of his clan. However, he also knew that this could not be blamed on Murong-yu, nor could it be blamed on him, but rather on those people. Those people were disobedient because they did not accept Murong-yu, and thus were killed by the Crimson Lightning. The city lord swept a cold glance over the others and said solemnly, "I hope that this kind of thing will not happen again in the following time." Everyone nodded repeatedly. How could they still dare to disobey? That was completely seeking death. Thus, the group continued to venture deeper into the mystic realm. Because of Murong-yu, they encountered no less than 10 red death thunders along the way. In the past, these 10 red death thunders were enough to make them lose a large number of people. However, because of Murong Yu's presence, none of them were killed. Only a few unlucky bastards who were unable to retreat in time were slightly injured. The city lord was naturally very satisfied with this. More than once, he felt that it was a wise decision to bring Murong Yu here. However, he soon lost his joy. That was because they discovered another group of people in front of them after they had traveled a certain distance. When Murong Yu met those people, they were in the midst of miserably dodging an attack from the Scarlet Death Lightning. However, there was no abnormal existence like Murong Yu among those people. As a result, all of them were battered and exhausted. There were only 30 to 40 people left. The losses must have been huge. Li Xian, Mo Ming. When Murong Yu saw those people, the other party also saw Murong Yu and the rest. Thus, the other party's controller and the city lord both exclaimed in shock. Mo Ming was the name of the city lord, and Li Xian was naturally the master of the Li family. The reason why the two of them exclaimed in shock was because they both thought that only they knew about the existence of this mystic realm. They did not expect to meet each other in the mystic realm. "What are you doing here? You followed me?" The two hall masters growled again. Both of them had murderous looks on their faces. It was obvious that both parties were old acquaintances. Moreover, they were enemies. Other than the two controllers, both parties were glaring at each other angrily. They were ready to fight. It looked like a huge battle was about to break out. At this moment, Murong Yu's soul started to tremble violently. "City Lord." Murong Yu's expression changed slightly. He immediately reminded City Lord Mo Ming. The City Lord understood and immediately waved his hand. And he first protected Murong Yu and rushed out in a flash. The people of the Mo family were not slow either. They quickly retreated. Only the people of the Li family stood where they were, confused. Then, they secretly felt smug in their hearts, because they all thought that the Mo family was afraid of them and was scared away by them. Only the master of the Li family, Li Xian, felt that something was wrong. Based on his understanding of Mo Ming, he would not do that. Then, there must be something wrong. At this moment, an extremely dangerous aura suddenly enveloped his heart. Li Xian finally knew what was wrong. So, he immediately brought the people of the Li family and retreated. But, it was already too late. A portion of the Li family successfully retreated and avoided the attack of the Crimson Death Lightning. But more than 10 people were killed by the Crimson Death Lightning. This time, more people died than the previous time. This was because they had just avoided the Crimson Death Lightning once and thought that there would not be a second Crimson Death Lightning here. So, they were careless. The heavy losses caused Li Xian to be extremely depressed and furious. But he was more shocked. How could Mo Ming have sensed the Crimson Death Lightning in advance and avoided it? Without any losses? Patriarch, I've discovered something. The reason why they avoided it must have something to do with that kid. An ordinary-looking young man of the Li family walked to Li Xian's side and pointed at Murong Yu. Li Xian's eyes flashed with a terrifying cold light as he looked at Murong Yu and asked in a low voice, "Are you sure?" The ordinary-looking young man nodded. He clearly saw Murong Yu warn Mo Ming, and then Mo Ming and the others retreated. This kid, Li Xian's eyes flashed with a strange light. No one knew what he was thinking. Let's go from the other side. With Murong Yu as his trump card, Mo Ming could not wait to enter the depths of the secret territory. He did not want to be entangled with Li Xian at all. Without Murong Yu's help, it was impossible for the other party to go deeper. However, they had only taken a few steps when they realized that Li Xian had caught up with them. He followed behind them at a leisurely pace. "Li Xian, what do you mean?" City Lord Mo Ming was angry and questioned. "This secret territory is so big. I can go wherever I want. What does it have to do with you?" Li Xian said shamelessly. However, as he spoke, his eyes kept glancing at Morongyu. A sense of danger rose in Morongyu's heart. He knew that Li Xian had his eyes on him. Moreover, Li Xian was different from City Lord Mo Ming, which made him feel conflicted. This Li Xian was definitely not a good person. City Lord Mo Ming was speechless and changed direction a few more times. However, Li Xian continued to follow behind shamelessly. Want to fight to the death with them? Both sides' strength was about the same. Once a battle broke out, many people below would die. The loss would outweigh the gain. Mo Ming, this secret territory is so big and there are so many treasures. You can't swallow them all alone. Why don't we work together? Li Xian said with a smile. Mo Ming sneered. Work together with you? In the end, I'll be swallowed by you until there's nothing left? Li Xian was famous for his ruthlessness. Working with him was simply asking a tiger for its skin. In the end, even he would be eaten by him. One of the most notorious men had arrived. Don't say that. Li Xian chuckled. It was not easy to fight. If he did not fight, the other party would follow him like a shadow. Could it be that he would bring them into the depths of the secret territory and then split the treasures with them? Morongyu was also a little unhappy. Hating Li Xian was one thing. Most importantly, he did not want to split the treasures with more people. Originally, he could get 1/10 of the treasures. If Li Xian mixed in, it was still a question whether he could get 1/20. He had to kill them or get rid of them. Morongyu frowned slightly. A plan came to his mind. City Lord, we'll kill them later. Morongyu came up with a plan and told City Lord Mo Ming his plan. City Lord Mo Ming frowned slightly. He felt that Morongyu's plan was a little risky. It might cause some of the Mo family's powerhouses to die. But if he did not take the risk, he would not be able to get rid of Li Xian and the rest. Thus, he nodded and agreed to Morongyu's plan. At the same time, he secretly instructed the Mo family's disciples. But he did not reveal Morongyu's plan. In the secret territory, the probability of the Scarlet Death lightning appearing was very high. Not long after, Morongyu's soul trembled violently again. This time, his soul trembled more intensely than before. The aura of death was even more intense. This meant that the Scarlet Death lightning that would appear this time would be even more terrifying. City Lord, the Scarlet Death lightning this time is more terrifying than before. It's about to strike. Morongyu secretly transmitted to City Lord Mo Ming. Mo Ming nodded. An invisible force had already enveloped everyone in the Mo family. Li Xian did not have any reaction to this. Li Xian, if you continue to follow, don't blame me for being rude. City Lord Mo Ming suddenly stood up and glared at Li Xian behind him. Li Xian chuckled and did not say anything. She just stopped and maintained a certain distance from the Mo family. Seeing this, Morongyu could not help but secretly praise City Lord Mo Ming for being sinister. However, he had already raised his defense to the maximum, because at this time, the Scarlet Death lightning had already struck. If he couldn't escape, he would die here. Even a chaotic celestial body would die. The frequency of the soul trembling increased, indicating that the Scarlet Death lightning was getting closer. Morongyu's expression had never been so serious. He was calculating the time when the Scarlet Death lightning would strike. At the last moment, he would escape here and kill Li Xian and the rest at the same time. At this time, City Lord Mo Ming was still talking nonsense with Li Xian. However, his forehead was also covered in sweat. This plan was too risky. If they were not careful, their Mo family would be wiped out. Now is the time. Morongyu, who had been silently counting down the time, suddenly roared. Morongyu's voice had just left his mouth when City Lord Mo Ming had already reacted. With a swoosh, Morongyu was teleported out, and at this time, the terrifying Scarlet Death lightning had already struck. Chapter 2058. Waves of incomparably mournful screams rang out one after another. Murong Yu clearly saw everyone from the Li clan being blasted into smithereens one after another under the bombardment of the Crimson Death Lightning. However, even though the Mo clan had long been prepared, there were still over a dozen Insight Realm powerhouses who couldn't retreat in time and were killed by the Crimson Death Lightning. Whoosh! A figure suddenly soared into the sky from the location of the Crimson Death Lightning. Before Murong Yu and the rest could react, this figure had already rapidly disappeared from their sight. Mo Ming, Li Xian, will remember today's matter. There will come a day when I'll make your Mo clan completely wiped out, not leaving a single one. An incomparably resentful voice came from afar, making one's hair stand on end. It was Li Xian. He actually wasn't killed by the Crimson Death Lightning. The faces of Mo Ming and the rest instantly turned ugly. Originally, they clearly saw Li Xian and the rest all being blasted into smithereens by that terrifying Crimson Death Lightning. If he knew that Li Xian wasn't killed, Mo Ming would definitely make a move to finish off Li Xian completely. It was just that he didn't expect Li Xian's vitality to be so terrifying. Even such a terrifying Crimson Death Lightning couldn't kill him. Murong Yu's face was also somewhat gloomy, because at the same time Li Xian left, he clearly felt a terrifying killing intent enveloping him. A strong sense of resentment attacked him, causing his soul to tremble. Even a fool understood that this time, it was definitely Murong Yu who schemed against Li Xian. Li Xian wasn't a fool. How could he not know that the main culprit was actually Murong Yu? Compared to Mo Ming's hatred, his hatred for Murong Yu was even more intense. It could be imagined that Li Xian would definitely take revenge on Murong Yu. However, Murong Yu's face was just a little gloomy. He wasn't worried at all. It wasn't like Mo Ming had a big family and business here. As long as this matter was over, he would leave the Crimson Thunder Galaxy. At that time, no matter how powerful Li Xian was, what could he do? City Lord, should we pursue and kill Li Xian? Mo Qing asked City Lord Mo Ming in a low voice. Mo Ming's eyes flashed with a cold light, but he shook his head in the end. Li Xian might have been seriously injured and was probably already far away by now. Even if they could still catch up, even a cornered dog could jump over a wall, let alone Li Xian. Once Li Xian counterattacked, even he would be in danger. Most importantly, Li Xian was severely injured. As long as he could obtain the treasures in this arcane realm, then, his strength would increase. At that time, even if Li Xian recovered her strength, she would no longer be his opponent. In fact, there was no threat at all. Thus, everyone continued to move forward. Without the Li clan following behind them, Murong Yu's group advanced very smoothly. Moreover, because of the Red Death Lightning, there were almost no powerful ferocious beasts in this secret realm. Therefore, they only needed to avoid the Crimson Death Lightning that appeared out of nowhere, and there were no more obstacles. After 3 days, they finally arrived at the back of the secret realm. At this moment, a dilapidated city appeared in their sight. This was a city many times larger than the one the Mo clan resided in. Although it was quite dilapidated, the scale was quite majestic. This should be the mountain gate of the ancient force that Mo mentioned. Everyone entered in a single file and entered the ancient city. In the beginning, everyone was very nervous. Even Murong Yu raised his alertness to the extreme. However, after a long time, the Red Death Lightning did not appear in the ancient city. Everyone sighed in relief, knowing that this ancient city had some kind of power that blocked the Red Death Lightning. Okay, everyone go your own ways. The treasures you obtain belong to you. Mo Ming waved his hand, and everyone from the Mo clan quickly dispersed. This ancient city had not been explored yet, so there must be a large amount of treasures. Now, it all depended on luck and strength. Thus, no one continued to stay. Murong Yu, my previous promise does not change. Mo Ming looked deeply at Murong Yu, then stepped out and disappeared from where he stood. Murong Yu smiled faintly and rushed into the streets of the ancient city. Murong Yu did not suspect anything from Mo Ming's words. However, if Mo Ming was willing to give him a tenth of the treasures, it must be the most ordinary treasures. Would Mo Ming give out the best treasures? Thus, Murong Yu still believed in his own luck. Whoosh! Murong Yu's silhouette flashed like lightning and entered a dilapidated mansion. However, the moment he entered, he felt a sense of danger. The warning signs immediately caused Murong Yu to stop his actions and observe the situation. Then, a smile appeared on his face. Arrays and prohibitions. This mansion was filled with arrays and prohibitions. However, because of his physique, these prohibitions and arrays were not triggered by him. With Murong Yu's attainments in array formations, he was able to quickly figure out the array formations. Due to the lack of maintenance, the crystals provided to the arrays were almost used up. Even if the arrays were triggered, they were not powerful enough to do anything to Murong Yu. Therefore, Murong Yu did not pay too much attention to it and began to rummage through the mansion. However, to his disappointment, although this place was empty, there was no one left. There were no treasures left behind. After that, Murong Yu searched through several residences, but all of them turned out to be the same. It was as if the original people of this force had left. When they left, they took everything with them. Murong Yu had just entered a rather imposing residence when he heard the sound of the voice. However, the moment he entered the main hall, his heart was enveloped by an extremely strong sense of danger. Murong Yu's body stiffened as he slowly turned around. At this moment, a figure rushed in from the sect. Murong Yu, what a coincidence! A mocking voice rang in Murong Yu's ears. Murong Yu narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the other party with a cold glint. This person was the idiot who had mocked Murong Yu the moment he saw him. Looking at the other party, Murong Yu secretly complained in his heart. The other party was an existence of the first stage of the creation realm. Although his strength was heaven-defying, he was still not this idiot's match. And the fierce killing intent that enveloped Murong Yu told him that this idiot really wanted to kill him. Without saying anything, Murong Yu took a step forward and was about to smash the main hall and leave this place. However, Murong Yu's speed was fast, but the other party's speed was even faster. At the same time that Murong Yu's figure swayed, the other party's large hand had already reached over and grabbed Murong Yu. Murong Yu couldn't resist at all and was caught by the other party. Aren't you very awesome? You can even dodge the Crimson Death Lightning, so why can't you dodge my attack? Mo Hong sneered, his killing intent soaring. For some reason, ever since he saw Murong Yu, he was very unhappy. And in the mystery realm, Murong Yu was even more in the limelight, completely overshadowing his radiance. In fact, the city lord even seemed to like him, which made him want to kill Murong Yu even more. Thus, after everyone left, he walked back again and finally caught up with Murong Yu. Although he was caught by the other party, Murong Yu did not panic at all, his expression still calm. What do you want? Could it be that you want to kill me? Without me leading the way, you can forget about leaving the mystery realm. And once the city lord finds out and kills you, you will definitely die. A cold killing intent and monstrous anger flashed past Mo Hong's eyes. Murong Yu's words ignited the flames of jealousy in his heart. It's okay, as long as I master the way to predict the Crimson Death Lightning, the city lord will not blame me. Moreover, the city lord will think highly of me because of this. Mo Hong sneered. His powerful divine thought was about to pierce into Murong Yu's soul space to check on Murong Yu's memories. However, at this moment, he saw a mocking look in Murong Yu's eyes. A feeling that something was wrong appeared in Mo Hong's heart. However, before he could react, he felt a sharp pain in his soul and body. Bang! After a muffled sound, his entire soul exploded. Even his physical body had been cut into two by an origin artifact. Mo Hong was extremely shocked. Murong Yu did not say a word, exploding with a soul attack and slashing over rapidly. He didn't stop until Mo Hong's soul was reduced to dust. What an idiot! Murong Yu raised his hand and recalled the weapon fragment that cut Mo Hong in two, then quickly destroyed Mo Hong's corpse. A Genesis Realm Level 1 expert died just like that? Murong Yu's strength was so terrifying? In reality, there was still a considerable gap between Murong Yu and a Genesis Realm cultivator. The reason why he easily killed Mo Hong, this idiot, was because Mo Hong did not know his true strength at all and only thought of him as a Creation Realm Level 8. This gave Murong Yu an opportunity to take advantage of. Moreover, Mo Hong was not prepared at all. Of course, if Murong Yu wasn't a soul cultivator, then even if he had the weapon fragment, he would only be able to cut Mo Hongi in half. It would be impossible for him to kill Mo Hongi. It was mainly a soul attack. It directly destroyed Mo Hong's soul. Even if Mo Hong's strength was 10 times stronger, it was useless. Once his soul was destroyed, he would not be able to make a comeback. Clap, clap, clap. After destroying Mo Hong's corpse, Murong Yu wanted to leave. But at this moment, a burst of applause came from outside the door. Murong Yu was shocked. There was someone else in the sect? And he did not discover this person at all. In other words, the other party was much stronger than Mo Hong, and his scheming was not something Mo Hong could compare to. A Creation Realm Level 8 expert can kill a Creation Realm Level 1 cultivator. Murong Yu, you are really shocking. However, if I tell the city lord that you killed Mo Hong, what do you think will happen to you? The person had not appeared yet, but the voice had already sounded in Murong Yu's ears. Murong Yu's expression was gloomy, but in reality, he had already taken out the Hichu Luoshu. Don't be sneaky, come out. Chapter 2059. Before Murong Yu could finish speaking, a figure slowly walked in from outside the door. It was one of the Creation Realm elites of the Mo clan. However, this person had not even looked Murong Yu in the eye before. He was the kind of person who was expressionless. Unexpectedly, this guy looked like he was not interested in Murong Yu, but he had already set his sights on Murong Yu. What do you want? Kill me, you. Murong Yu was about to say what he had said to Mo Hong earlier, but he was rudely interrupted by the other party. Keep your thoughts to yourself. I've seen through your scheme against Mo Hong. And I'm not that idiot, Mo Hong. So, you'd better obediently give me all your memories. Otherwise, I don't mind taking them myself. Of course, if I make a move, something bad will happen. Murong Yu smiled disdainfully at the other party. You say it as if you think you can definitely control me. The other party was furious. He suddenly reached out a large hand and grabbed at Murong Yu. At the same time, he had already raised his power to the maximum. While sealing the whole house, he also protected himself firmly. This way, even if Murong Yu wanted to sneak up on him, it would not be easy, let alone kill him. Just like Mo Hong, Murong Yu didn't even have the strength to fight back before he was caught. Mo Chuan did not feel any surprise at this result. After all, he was a third-stage Creation Realm elite. He was at least 10,000 times stronger than Mo Hong. Compared to Murong Yu, that was even stronger. The two of them were not on the same level at all. However, because he had witnessed Mo Hong's unexpected failure and was killed by Murong Yu, Mo Chuan was very vigilant. After catching Murong Yu, he immediately sealed his power. Layer upon layer, Mo Chuan placed no less than 10 restrictions on Murong Yu's body. Mo Chuan heaved a sigh of relief when he felt that Murong Yu would not be able to cause any more trouble. Then, he began to probe Murong Yu's soul space with his divine consciousness, trying to read Murong Yu's memories. However, when his divine sense entered Murong Yu's soul space, he was stunned. This was because he saw that Murong Yu's soul space was completely empty. Murong Yu's soul was nowhere to be found. No soul. Mo Chuan was immediately taken aback, but as a Genesis tier elite, he instantly reacted. The spatial soul did not have a soul. Didn't that mean that this person was not Murong Yu's original body, but was only an incarnation of his power? The power incarnation did not have a soul, but it could be controlled by the original body. Therefore, it was the same as the true body. Emo Chuan let out a furious roar, and crushed Murong Yu in his hand. Sure enough, after Murong Yu was crushed, he only turned into a pile of power and quickly disappeared into the air. There was no blood or flesh splattering out. Murong Yu, I know you're still nearby. Hurry up and come out. Otherwise, I'll tell the city lord that you killed Murong Yu. The furious Emo Chuan actually threatened Murong Yu. Murong Yu did not respond. It was unknown whether he was still here or had left long ago. Emo Chuan was enraged. He exploded with violent power, and directly razed the mansion he was in, and even the surrounding area was razed to the ground. However, he still could not find any trace of Murong Yu. Therefore, he guessed that Murong Yu had left long ago. However, what he could not understand was how Murong Yu had secretly swapped him in front of him and escaped without a trace. He did not discover anything at all. Moreover, Murong Yu did not seem to be afraid that the news of him killing Emo Hong would be leaked. Murong Yu was indeed not afraid. Now that he had entered the mystic territory, he no longer needed the Emo family to lead the way. Moreover, he did not need Emo Ming's protection. On the contrary, it was the Emo family who needed him to lead the way out of the mystic territory. Whether Murong Yu left directly or by teleportation, there was no danger. Therefore, after he had secretly swapped him, he had directly left the place. In fact, when Emo Chuan appeared, Murong Yu had already taken out the Hichu Luoshu. He had already condensed a power clone to replace the true body. The reason why Emo Chuan did not discover it was because Murong Yu had swapped him at the perfect time. Emo Chuan saw Murong Yu's figure sway, and thought that Murong Yu was trying to escape. However, in reality, Murong Yu had only swapped him at this time. Emo Chuan did not notice this at all. Otherwise, how could Murong Yu have swapped him so easily? However, many times the details determine success or failure. If Emo Chuan did not discover it, it meant that he had failed. In the following period of time, Murong Yu was much more careful. He had even concealed his figure and advanced while concealing himself. There were too many people in the Emo family who had designs on him. Now, it was only Emo Hong and Emo Chuan. Emo Hong's strength was not much, and Murong Yu could still sneak attack and kill him. Emo Chuan was a third-stage creation realm existence, and the Emo family had other cultivators who were even stronger. Once those people discovered him, Murong Yu could not guarantee that his swapping would still work. However, what made Murong Yu depressed was that there was nothing in this mystic territory other than those dilapidated houses. Everything that was slightly valuable had already been taken away. In fact, Murong Yu even had the urge to leave. There was nothing here. Continuing here was simply a waste of life. As expected, Murong Yu's cautiousness was not wrong. He, who was hiding in the dark, realized that most of the Emo family members were either openly or covertly looking for his tracks. This made Murong Yu's heart fill with killing intent, but he was not as strong as them, so he did not make a move in the end. At this time, he had already arrived at the center of the dilapidated city. And here, Murong Yu also saw Emo Ming, Emo Qing, and a small number of people from the Emo family. Emo Ming's expression was very ugly. He originally thought that this mystic territory had many treasures, but now there was nothing. Only this house in front of him that he could not enter seemed to be worth looking at. However, this house was sealed by layers of restrictions and arrays. He could not force his way in at all. However, with his ability, it was definitely impossible to break these arrays and restrictions in a short period of time. Therefore, his expression was rather ugly. Suddenly, he realized that there were layers of ripples in the void in front of the house not far in front of him. Then, that originally tightly shut door seemed to be pushed open by a pair of large hands. This. Mo Ming and the rest looked at the door of the house in astonishment. Their faces were filled with disbelief. And under their gaze, that door suddenly closed again. It was as if a person opened the door and went in, then closed it again. However, even the strongest person here, Mo Ming, could not enter. Who else could? But, if it was not someone who went in, what happened here? Mo Ming and the rest fell into deep confusion. Mo Ming and the rest's suspicion was not wrong. Just now, it was Morong Yu who went in. The restrictions and arrays could not stop Morong Yu's footstep. Originally, Morong Yu wanted to try if he could enter the house. But the result was out of his expectations. The door opened as soon as he pushed it open. The house was not big, but compared to other dilapidated houses, the furnishings inside were not damaged. But there was nothing, only some ordinary tables and chairs. However, this house that was surrounded by layers of arrays and restrictions was just like this? Was it possible? Therefore, Morong Yu began to observe. Then, he found that on one of the tables, there was an inconspicuous jade slip. Other than this jade slip, there was really nothing else. Morong Yu checked it carefully again, but did not find anything else. What is in this jade slip? It is actually protected by layers? Morong Yu did not immediately pick up the jade slip, because he saw that the jade slip was also protected by layers of restrictions. However, this was not a problem for him. After observing for a while, he reached out and grabbed the jade slip in his hand. An incomparably huge divine thought pierced straight in. The jade slip itself did not set up any obstacles. Morong Yu's divine thought did not encounter any obstacles and entered the jade slip. A torrent of information crazily rushed into Morong Yu's memory like a torrent. Morong Yu was stunned, but did not reject this information, because this information was a cultivation method. A large amount of information rushed into Morong Yu's body, and after a while, the jade slip in his hand exploded with a bang, turning into a pile of powder. This cultivation method is really not a small matter. If it was obtained by Mo Ming and others, I'm afraid they would advance by leaps and bounds to the celestial realm, right? After Morong Yu carefully comprehended the cultivation method, he sighed with a complicated expression. It was not that this cultivation method was more powerful than the chaotic celestial body record that he cultivated, but this cultivation method was completely tailor-made for the people of the Scarlet Thunder Galaxy. There was nothing special about this cultivation method, but it could absorb the red lightning and even the red death lightning to cultivate. The red lightning was not a big deal, but the red death lightning was extremely terrifying. But after cultivating this cultivation method, one would even have a certain immunity to the red death lightning. One could directly absorb the power of the red death lightning for one's own use to improve one's own strength. This cultivation method was the most powerful cultivation method of the ancient force of this secret realm. Logically speaking, the force that could create or cultivate this cultivation method must be very powerful, but why did they still decline? This thought only flashed through Morong Yu's mind, and then he focused on the cultivation method in his mind. Why that force declined was not something that he needed to consider. What he needed to consider was whether he could cultivate this cultivation method or not. If he could definitely break through to the insight realm in a short time and possess the strength of the creation realm. It was just that he could only cultivate the chaotic celestial body record, and this cultivation method called Red Thunder Tyrannical Technique was not a combat skill, so he could not directly cultivate it. This caused Morong Yu to feel a faint sense of sadness. It was as if he was standing on a mountain of treasures, but he couldn't possess it. Chapter 2060. Crimson Thunder Tyrannical Technique was a Deva realm cultivation method. This was one of the things that Morong Yu learned after obtaining the Crimson Thunder Tyrannical Technique. That was to say, that ancient force back then had at least a Deva realm existence. If this cultivation method was obtained by the people of the Crimson Thunder Galaxy, they might have long become a Deva Realm's supreme powerhouse. If it was obtained by Mo Ming or Li Xin, they might also become Deva Realm powerhouses. Hence, once they discovered this cultivation method, they would definitely snatch it at all costs. However, they naturally had no chance to know. Murong Yu would not leak it either, so he was not worried about this at all. What he was depressed about now was that he could not cultivate this seemingly powerful cultivation method. If he could cultivate, his strength would definitely soar by leaps and bounds. Could it be that he had to give this cultivation method to Zhao Jiqing and the rest? Let them come here to cultivate? This was also a good idea. But he could not cultivate, which was really depressing. It's not impossible to cultivate. You can try to adapt this cultivation method and integrate it into the chaotic celestial body record. Hichu's voice rang out in Murong Yu's mind out of thin air. This works too. Murong Yu's heart stirred. After thinking for a while, he felt that there was this possibility. Crimson Thunder Tyrannical Technique was actually a special cultivation method to devour Crimson Lightning and Crimson Death Lightning. This cultivation method was not very profound. If Murong Yu understood the principle of Crimson Thunder Tyrannical Technique, he did not even need to cultivate this cultivation method and could devour Crimson Death Lightning. Hence, he started Hichu Luoshu's time acceleration function and began to carefully study Crimson Thunder Tyrannical Technique. With his comprehension, he quickly discovered the principle of Crimson Thunder Tyrannical Technique. Crimson Thunder Tyrannical Technique used the principle of special power to absorb those Crimson Death Lightning into the body. At the same time, using special methods, the power of the Crimson Death Lightning was distributed to every area of the body. Moreover, the portion of the Crimson Death Lightning's power that exceeded the body's tolerance was sealed. This way, he could devour the power of the Crimson Death Lightning. However, it looked incomparably easy, but in reality, it was full of unpredictable dangers. Once there was the slightest mistake in this process, then the cultivator would be bombarded by the Crimson Death Lightning until not even dregs remained. Whoosh! After spending a few years in Hichu Luoshu, Murong Yu had thoroughly comprehended the principles of the Scarlet Thunder Tyrannical Art. Thus, he left Hichu Luoshu and appeared in the arcane realm. After comprehending the cultivation method, Murong Yu integrated it into the chaotic celestial records. As long as he executed the record of chaotic celestial body using the Crimson Thunder Tyrannical Technique, he would be able to devour the Crimson Death Lightning. Of course, the cultivation method that he had modified could not be mentioned in the same breath as the Scarlet Thunder Tyrannical Technique. At least not yet. A few years in Hichu Luoshu was equivalent to a few breaths of time in the mystic realm. After appearing, Murong Yu checked his surroundings. After confirming that there were no experts from the Mo clan, he began to cultivate. Using the circulation route of the Red Thunder Tyrannical Art to circulate the chaotic celestial record. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. All of a sudden, the red lightning bolts around him were devoured into his body. Even before he comprehended the Scarlet Thunder Tyrannical Technique, he could devour the red lightning bolt. However, he needed to use the Chaos Furnace to refine them. The red lightning bolts did not contain much power. Even if he used the Chaos Furnace to cultivate directly, it would only increase Murong Yu's strength by a very small amount. Naturally, he would not be able to devour them directly. However, Murong Yu did not want to use the red lightning bolts to increase his strength. He was just testing his cultivation method. The red lightning bolts were continuously devoured like a torrent. They flowed in Murong Yu's body according to the specific route of the Scarlet Thunder Tyrannical Technique. After a period of time, Murong Yu saw that the red lightning bolts were reduced by a little. The things that were burned were not really reduced. Instead, they had become a part of Murong Yu's strength and were integrated into his strength. This cultivation method is really amazing. Murong-yu could not help but click his tongue in wonder. The speed at which this cultivation method refined the red lightning bolts was far inferior to that of the chaos furnace. However, other people were not as abnormal as him. If he cultivated this cultivation method, even if he did not devour the Scarlet Thunder tyrannical technique, his speed would increase by leaps and bounds. After all, as long as he was in the Scarlet Thunder galaxy, he would not have to worry about the lack of red lightning bolt. With so much red lightning bolts and this heaven-defying cultivation method, even a pig's strength would quickly increase. Although he had successfully verified that his modification was correct, Murong-yu did not immediately devour the red lightning bolt. The red lightning bolts and the red lightning bolts were two completely different things. After using a few days, Murong-yu repeatedly verified and corrected the modified cultivation method. Murong-yu finally decided to devour the red lightning bolt. He saw Murong-yu standing in the same place, as if he was sensing something. The next moment, his face revealed a touch of shock. Not far ahead, a small red lightning bolt will appear. The red lightning bolts that will appear on the left and right will be more powerful. In the next quarter of an hour, the red lightning bolts will not appear in the area behind us. Murong-yu said to himself with a face full of shock. Previously, the reason why Murong-yu sensed the red lightning bolts in advance was because he cultivated the all-character art of the 9 characters true incantation. The all-character art was a heavenly deduction, and it had an extremely sensitive perception towards unknown dangers that were about to descend. Therefore, he could feel the descent of the red lightning bolts completely because he sensed danger. However, after cultivating the modified Scarlet Thunder tyrannical technique, Murong-yu's perception was even more terrifying. He could even discover where the red lightning bolts were condensing. Of course, although Murong-yu was now heaven-defying, he could only sense whether or not the red lightning bolts were condensing in the area around him for a quarter of an hour. If the area was too large, or if the time was too long, he would be powerless. After all, he could only sense the red lightning bolts condensing, but he could not predict where they would condense. He could only see the red lightning bolts condensing. I didn't expect the Scarlet Thunder tyrannical technique to have such a heaven-defying ability. If I cultivate this technique, I can absolutely do whatever I want in the Scarlet Thunder galaxy. It's simply a heaven-defying technique that is necessary for traveling and sneaking around. Murong-yu exclaimed in his heart. Whoosh! At the same time he exclaimed, he had already rushed to the edge of the condensing red lightning bolt's range. He could sense that the red lightning bolt's power wasn't very great, and it seemed to be able to kill a profound underworld realm cultivator. However, in order to ensure his safety, Murong-yu didn't go too far. It wouldn't be too late to try it in the periphery first. It didn't take long for the crimson lightning to strike without any warning. Of course, no warning was for others. For Murong-yu, he could even sense the trajectory of the red lightning bolt's bombardment. Immediately, Murong-yu operated the modified Scarlet Thunder tyrannical technique. Buzz! The red lightning bolts fiercely bombarded his body, and immediately, a wave of soreness caused Murong-yu's body to tremble violently. It was to the extent that his mantle-like black hair was standing on end. It was rather shocking. Murong-yu didn't have time to pay attention to his shocking appearance. At this moment, his entire mind was focused on his body. After a portion of the red lightning bolts were swallowed by him, they began to spread to his limbs and bones, and to every part of his body. What was different from ordinary red lightning bolts was that wherever these red lightning bolts passed, Murong-yu's meridians, flesh and blood were all torn apart. However, at the same time, the modified Scarlet Thunder tyrannical technique gave birth to a kind of recovery ability, and began to rapidly repair the torn meridians and flesh. At the same time, This unceasingly spreading and roaming energy was also rapidly converted into Murong Yu's energy. When the red lightning bolts that entered his body were all converted into his energy, Murong Yu saw that his strength had increased by a little. Furthermore, at this moment, the meridians and flesh that were torn apart by the red lightning bolts had already been repaired. Furthermore, during this process, his body had been tempered and strengthened by a little bit. The Scarlet Thunder Tyrannical technique has the dual ability of recovery and devouring. However, if the red lightning bolts that enter the body are too strong and exceed the limits of the body, and if the Scarlet Thunder Tyrannical technique's ceiling speed can't keep up, the body will be destroyed in an instant. The Scarlet Thunder Tyrannical technique was quite heaven-defying, but the risks involved were also extremely great. However, to Murong Yu, he could still control this degree well. Even if he couldn't control it well, he still had the help of the Tree of Life. After thoroughly experiencing this trial, Murong Yu once again entered the next red lightning bolt. In the following period of time, he continuously entered and exited the red lightning bolt. As the number of times he entered the red lightning bolts increased, his strength was also rapidly increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. At the same time that Murong Yu's strength was rapidly increasing, Mo Ming and the rest were still pacing back and forth outside the house, not knowing whether to leave or not. Mo Ming, on the other hand, was full of energy, breaking the restrictions and formations outside the house. Who knew if he would be so angry that he would vomit blood after breaking all the formations and restrictions, only to find that there was nothing in the house. Time continued to pass, and in the blink of an eye, Murong Yu had already been in the secret realm for a year. On this day, Mo Ming finally broke the countless formations and restrictions outside the house. However, when he rushed into the house, an angry roar came from inside the house. At the same time, on the other side of the secret realm, Murong Yu's body trembled violently, and an aura that was 100 times stronger than before erupted from Murong Yu's body. If someone was watching, they would realize that Murong Yu's realm had already rushed from the original 8th level of the creation realm to the 9th level of the creation realm. Chapter 2061. Level 9 Creation Realm. This time, Murong Yu had only broken through in his cultivation and physical body. His soul had not broken through. It had only improved a little from its original realm, and had not reached a small realm. Even so, his combat strength had improved tremendously. Originally, when he was still at level 8 creation realm, his combat strength was only 80 times lower than that of a level 1 creation realm. In other words, he only had 1/8 of the combat strength of an ordinary creation realm cultivator. However, when his cultivation and physical body both broke through, his combat strength improved by leaps and bounds. In one fell swoop, he flattened the huge gap of 80 times and reached the creation realm. Although his current combat strength was still slightly inferior to Mo Hong, who had been killed by him previously. However, Murong Yu was already quite satisfied. Once his soul broke through to level 9 creation realm, his combat strength would at least be comparable to that of a level 2 or even level 3 creation realm cultivator. Once his soul, cultivation, and physical body stepped into the netherworld realm at the same time, what level would his combat strength reach? Murong Yu did not know now, but he knew that by then, his combat strength would definitely be extremely terrifying. After breaking through, Murong Yu wanted to continue cultivating and rush to the netherworld realm in one fell swoop. Although he knew that it was not so easy to break through to the netherworld realm, there was an endless supply of red lightning here. Even if it took a long time, he would eventually succeed in breaking through. However, he wanted to break through, but someone did not want him to. It was someone from the Lin family. After Murong Yu broke through, the two brothers, Lin Jiafeng and Lin Jiashu, spread the news to him that the Lin family was already suspicious and would send troops to the solar system in a few days to destroy the entire solar system. After all, the solar system was Murong Yu's hometown, and the one who controlled the solar system was Shenzhen. Murong Yu could not just watch the Lin family send troops to the solar system. Therefore, after he consolidated his power, he did not hesitate to leave the mystic realm he was in and return to the solar system. As for Mo Ming, Murong Yu had cooperated with him because of benefits. The two of them could not even be considered friends. Therefore, Murong Yu did not care whether he could leave the mystic realm or not. When they returned to the solar system, many experts from the Lin family had already surrounded the entire sun. All of them were brimming with killing intent, wanting to destroy the sun's star. However, Murong Yu was not nervous at all. With a Genesis realm expert like Zhao Jiqing overseeing the solar system, a mere Lin family would not be able to cause much trouble. However, it was up to Murong Yu to decide how to deal with this matter. Now, the power of faith had reappeared. Moreover, this power of faith was billions of times stronger than the power of faith in the holy world. This was because this power of faith was produced by the disciples of the Sun sect. The weakest disciples of the Sun sect were at the Chaos realm. Wisps of power of faith constantly appeared out of thin air in Murong Yu's body and then gathered in his body. As time passed and the number of believers increased, Murong Yu's power of faith would increase. At that time, his strength would become even more powerful. The world of cultivators is really complicated and simple. Murong Yu sighed in his heart. Previously, when he controlled the entire solar system, no one became his believer. However, after he killed everyone from the Lin family with one punch today, believers immediately appeared. Tiger Claw Galaxy. After Murong Yu killed everyone from the Lin family with one punch, the Lin family immediately reacted. Immediately, they suspected that Murong Yu was behind this. Even if Murong Yu did not have the strength, it must be related to him. After all, those people died in the solar system. Therefore, the powerhouses of the Lin family gathered and discussed how to mobilize the powerhouses of the Lin family to destroy the solar system. You don't have to go, I'm here. Just as they were discussing how many powerhouses to mobilize, a cold voice appeared in the hall. At the same time, a young man in black appeared out of thin air at the entrance of the hall. Who else could it be other than Murong Yu? After killing everyone from the Lin family, Murong Yu directly teleported to the Tiger Claw Galaxy. Then, through a series of teleportations, he directly arrived at the Lin family's headquarters. You're Murong Yu? The powerhouses of the Lin family already knew what Murong Yu looked like. However, they could not help but be shocked. They were shocked that Murong Yu dared to barge into the Lin family alone. Moreover, wasn't Murong Yu in the solar system? Why did he suddenly appear here? Most importantly, this guy was only at Destiny Realm level 9. How audacious of him. Kneel down. One of the Lin family's big shots roared as he stretched out his hand, grabbing at Murong Yu in midair. Murong Yu glanced at him coldly. Plop. Suddenly, the powerhouse of the Lin family felt as if he was being crushed by a huge prehistoric mountain. With his strength, he could not withstand it at all. Therefore, under the shocked gazes of the Lin family, the powerhouse kneeled down without caring about his image. You don't have to welcome me like this. I'm the one who killed Lin Zhe and Lin Hongzhe. Oh right, I heard that Lin Zhe and Lin Hongzhe are the sons of one of the powerhouses here? Who is their father? Can you step forward and introduce yourself to me? Murong Yu smiled and said. At the same time, he sat down on the seat of the powerhouse who attacked him earlier. Everyone looked at Murong Yu with a strange expression on their faces. Wasn't the one kneeling on the ground Lin Hongzhe's father? That was the Lin family's level 9 elder. A terrifying existence of level 9 insight realm. However, he seemed to have been suppressed by Murong Yu directly. There was no resistance at all. Little bastard, you killed Lin Hongzhe. I'll kill you. The powerhouse of the Lin family who was kneeling on the ground finally roared with his teeth clenched. His expression was filled with hatred. You're Lin Hongza's father? I really have to thank you properly. If it wasn't for you, how could Lin Hongza have so many treasures of heaven and earth? If it wasn't for his treasures of heaven and earth, how could my strength have increased so quickly? Murongyu smiled, but his smile was a little cold. Pooh! Lin Hongza's father spat out a mouthful of blood in anger. Everything he had was just a wedding dress for Murongyu. Moreover, Lin Hongza had lost his life because of this. I'll fight you to the death, Lin Hongza's father bellowed as he struggled to charge at Murongyu. However, the gap between him and Murongyu was too big. After being suppressed, how could he break free? However, Lin Hongza's father couldn't attack, but the other powerhouses of the Lin family could. In the blink of an eye, dozens of incomparably berserk energies bombarded Murongyu with earth-shattering might. Rumble! The space where Murongyu was destroyed. Murongyu also disappeared without a trace. You've disappointed me too much. At first, I was still thinking about whether to leave your Lin family alive, but you're all seeking your own deaths. Murongyu's cold voice sounded in everyone's ears. At the same time, the many elites of the Lin family felt an extremely terrifying force acting on them, making them unable to resist. Putong! 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 The many elders of the Lin family all knelt down. In front of Murongyu, they were powerless to resist. Murongyu, if you dare to touch our Lin family, the ancestors of our Lin family definitely won't let you off. So what if you're a Genesis tier elite? You'll still die. An ancestor of the Lin family said furiously. His voice was fierce, but it seemed like he really had something to rely on. Murongyu frowned slightly. Things couldn't be so dramatic again, right? After killing the young, the old jumped out? You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.